All right. Before I jump in, I want to take a look at a couple of the progress things. Got a few leaders I've been thinking about. One here is Ashoka, the World Renouncer. There's a lot of things that synergize with my playstyle that I've been looking at. And +1 food in capital for every 5 excess happiness. This seems good. More food equals more workers equals more ability to generate happiness, right? So like for getting him to level 2, that seems like a pretty good little perk. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to use it, right? Because there's so many other good perks, but I kind of like the option of it. And that synergizes directly with his playstyle where he does essentially the same thing. Blossoms Beneath the Throne gain 100 food in the capital when you spend an attribute point on the expansionist attribute tree. So essentially, every time you spend an attribute card, your main city gets closer. It either grows or it gets closer to growing. I'm thinking about this paired with this guy who starts with a couple of wild card points that he can put out, and just using that to create a solid foundation. I really think this guy's going to end up being my main. There's a lot of reasons I like him, but I'm looking for things that are going to synergize well with him, and I think both of these 2 green traits off of Ashoka would do that well. During the celebration, +1 happy per quarter per age. So extra happiness is generated a lot during celebrations anyway, right? Quarters are a big concept of the game, a big cornerstone of the game. So you're probably going to have a couple of them. So just being able to get additional happiness during the celebrations, which are coming pretty quickly if you've got good population and good happiness growth, which you're encouraged to do with his playstyle specifically, is nice. But as a memento, I don't know if I really love this unless I was playing him to kind of double down on it. It's kind of where my head is, right? I've only played 3 games through the Antiquity Age so far, and I played as Caesar, Confucius, and this girl who I'm going to butcher her name. That's Shift. This girl, Egypt leader. And I did it just, again, I wanted to see Antiquity Age a little bit, but also these leaders tend to play with my playstyle, which is expansionist, economic, cultural, which these are all a mixture of. But as I look to make this guy my main, I'm looking for mementos that really round him out because he is the only wild card leader. He can go in any direction. I want to make sure I've got mementos that help round me out in the direction that I want to go, which again tends to be, he's expansionist wild card, so I've got the expansionist piece covered from him more or less. How can I incorporate economic, cultural, that really helps concrete where I'm at? So looking at some of the leaders that I've been enjoying playing, what can I do? Okay, so +2 culture on wonders. If I'm going to build him into a cultural victory guy, +2 culture isn't terrible if I'm going to be pushing out a bunch of wonders. I don't know if that's really me. +10% culture if I have the most wonders. I mean, that's a decent boost. That's a non-zero number for sure. And if I'm building a lot of wonders, I probably also care about my culture. I want to go through the civic tree so I can unlock more wonders. This seems good. And then +10% production towards wonders, if I don't have the most, just kind of helps me get back to that cultural standpoint if maybe I start a little slower. And honestly, this would probably work well if I was going to take him down a cultural victory, just because from the get-go, I'm probably not swinging for the fences with a ton of wonders, so I probably am going to fall behind, so I get that production to be able to catch back up. Caesar was the first guy I played, mostly because I saw this memento and I'm like, yeah. My playstyle and the games that I've played have traditionally been play wide, so additional settlement limit is pretty good. The +50% more to convert a city stings a little bit, but in most of the games that I've been playing to get through the Antiquity Age, I've had 2, maybe 3 cities. And the third city, it's been a gamble. Like every time I've played, I've had the riots crisis so far, and it stings to have those happiness penalties for having more cities and me playing economic. There's also a thing that if you have less than full resources, you have a massive happiness hit in that city. So having more cities is has more resource slots. Having more resource slots are harder to fill. So you end up taking a happiness penalty almost guaranteed, or you can lower your settlement limit, in which case you have a happiness penalty, all this stuff. So it's hard. So I want to keep my cities low and my towns high. And this kind of synergizes with that very well. One settlement limit is just, it feels good. Plus 2 food per age in towns. Truthfully, doesn't feel great. It feels better early on when I have a low amount of towns, but food ramps up so fast with all of my playstyles. I don't know if this is a memento that I will use a lot. So I don't know if I need to push Caesar to 5 yet. Augustus. Golden recognition, plus 1 production in the capital for every town. Like I said, I'm playing wide. I'm having few cities, one capital, obviously, have to have it, and then a bunch of towns, and I upgrade to like a second city or even a tertiary city late in the antiquity age, traditionally. So I have a lot of towns for most of it. Not a lot. I mean, my settlement limit is usually around 5, 6, 7, towards the point where I'm looking to upgrade to an additional city. Um, so that's only, you know, 5 production that I'm getting in my capital, which it's noticeable, but it's not like huge. In antiquity age, I mean, my capital is maybe running around like 20% production anyway, so 25% extra production just for existing and playing the way that I'm wanting to play doesn't feel bad, but it also doesn't necessarily feel like a huge. Again, I'm playing the way I want to play, so I mean, it's a bonus on top of the way that I've been traditionally playing. I guess that feels fine. I it's so late down here though to get Augustus to level 9 to pick up that memento, while also trying to pick up some of these other things along the way. Just that's the part that kind of has me discouraged from doing it. I guess it'll happen in time, but as I'm looking to build out my ideal leader and playstyle, I'm looking for something a little faster, I think. A lot of these I'm not as worried about. I'm interested in Charlemagne. At some point, I'm going to try some Charlemagne games. Scientific military just feels like he's going to beat his competition to the better military techs. He's going to use that military superiority to leverage an advantage in battle, and that's going to be the way I play the game. And I feel like Charlemagne is going to be a great military guy when I want to do that. Either him or Augustus are going to be more of my military play. Maybe Xerxes. But those are things that I want to build towards eventually. Right now, I'm not seeing any cavalry, so I don't need that. Plus 50 influence when an attribute point is spent would synergize pretty well with this guy if I wanted to do a diplomatic playstyle. And since he's a wild card and can kind of adapt that, it could work. But at the same time, like 50 influence isn't enough to really do the actions that I would need to do. It's a huge amount at the beginning of the game. Absolutely huge. Would allow me to start building their relations with the neutral parties a lot faster on the map. Just massive, absolutely. Don't want to understate it. But I don't think I want to play diplomatic off the top. I probably want to stick with my expansionist economic. So to put 5 levels into Charlemagne for a playstyle that I'm not going to play right now doesn't seem like best use of my time. And movement on cavalry is good. Again, kind of that idea of I'm getting to tech faster, and now I'm leveraging my strong military presence and advancement to do better than others. So like it's just not only am I getting there faster, but I'm doing better with it. Charlemagne's straight up military, right? Obviously, I'm jumping around a lot. This is another guy that I've been playing, Confucius. Love Confucius. Plus 5% growth rate in cities for every specialist in that city. I like the idea of this going into the exploration era. Um, so far in Antiquity, I haven't been putting a lot of specialists. I just barely get the ability to put down specialists towards like that last third of the age, maybe the last half of the age, if I want to be particular. And obviously, I can kind of gear my playstyle towards it more if I wanted to. But traditionally speaking, at that during Antiquity Age, I'm still trying to sprawl my towns and cities to grab as much land as I can. To land is definitely a commodity. Playing the economic playstyle that I've been playing, I've been trying to grab resources left, right, and center. So sprawling out to be able to grab all those resources. I haven't been stacking in one spot. I've been spreading within the boundaries to push those boundaries a little bit more to culture bomb and take more land. Um, so brush and scroll, I think, is something that would kick up more in expansion or exploration than in antiquities. But I do like it. I like the idea of having strong cities and at the same time having strong cities getting that extra growth. Especially since one of the downsides of a specialist is a hit to your food and happiness. So being able to generate more people is traditionally a good thing as long as you're covering your happiness in general, right? You can continue to grow with a trait like this. Preserving the wraith. +1 culture and +1 gold from specialists. If you're stacking specialists, right, like this is the way to do it. Confucius is a scientific victory guy. The way I look at it, specialists really help you lean into that, get your science going, maybe your culture to some extent. And this is just a good way to get a little bit more out of your specialists. Again, when I'm looking at my playstyle, it's not really what I'm wanting to do right now. And then +1 science per specialist, exactly what I just said, right? Like if you're stacking specialists, you're probably trying to get those big hexes, you're trying to get those big tiles, which science victories are really leaning into. And this is going to help you get there so much faster, so much more efficiently. It may not seem like much, but when you're at the point where you've got like 3 or 4 specialists in a hex or something, and each one is generating these absurd bonuses, and now you're just getting 1 science for each one of those additionals, it ends up being really noticeable, to say the least. You just have to have that foundation in place. You have to be able to grow your city enough to benefit from it. But since I'm not leaning in towards science right now, I'm, again, more cultural and more economic as I'm relearning Civ. I like this. I just don't think I want to pair it right now. Welcome, welcome. If you're joining us, what we're doing is this is the leader that I think I want to lean into. He's expansionist, wild card. Wild card, one of his traits is he gets a couple of perks that he can use on the perk tree at the start of the game. And he just, in my opinion, this guy is good. And he's flexible since he's expansionist wild card. His playstyle is determined a lot by how you want to play the game once you get in the game. And Momentos kind of play into that. So I'm looking around at the Momentos that I would pair with him to kind of get a little bit more value. And the interesting thing is his Momentos are good, don't get me wrong, but I look at his Momentos as things that I would unlock these Momentos to play with other leaders. And I look at the other leaders' Momentos as things that I'd put on him to kind of direct his secondary attribute playstyle thing, right? Like he's expansionist to something. What's that something going to be? What are we going to lean into? And we can use Momentos from the other leaders to lean into his playstyle a little bit more. Well, at the same time, if I'm playing Augustus Caesar, one of the Caesars, right? If I'm playing Augustus, marked by many miles, gain 10 of the corresponding yield when you spend an attribute point, like, hey, that's pretty alright. I might want to put that on him, maybe not. This is the one that I'd probably put on just about everybody that I played, right? +1 movement and sight on scouts, merchants, and settlers. I'm an expansionist guy, so extra movement on my settlers, getting them there faster, being able to explore with sight and movement on scouts. The economic side of me loves the merchants and being able to get them in position to open those trade routes up a little bit faster. Like this is a memento that I would probably run on just about everybody. And then finally down here, the marvels of traveling, +1 culture, gold, happiness, and science per turn per age for each attribute tree that you have a point in. So kind of that idea of I want at least 1 point in every tree. Um, as the game ticks on, so I get all of these additional bonuses each turn for just pressing next turn. So good, so powerful, and if you are playing across like a wide spectrum, or even probably just 2 or 3 trees that you have points in, and I think everybody's going to have points in almost all the trees by exploration age anyway. Just extra bonuses are so good. Again, maybe not something I'd run on him directly, but I could because he's wide spectrum. Why not? Um, Definitely something I would consider running on other people because there's so many bonuses. But what we're looking at are what mementos I want to put on him. Um, so Isabel has some great bonuses, some gold, extra gold for finding wonders, natural wonders. Naval sight. Secrets mapped and royalties registered. Royally registered. Well, I cannot read today. 100% yield on natural wonders if you're working the most natural wonder tiles. And +2 combat strength for naval units, just blanket. Really good if you happen to find a natural wonder. If you don't have a natural wonder, it's kind of a wasted memento slot. Natural wonders are already really good, so being able to double them feels fantastic. But if you don't find a natural wonder, you're kind of in a bad spot, or if the natural wonder is far away from your cities and where you're building, you're in a bad spot. If you're trying to play economic and you find a natural wonder, you may not have resources around it, and you may be trying to get those resources picked up for your economic victory win condition. So this to me just feels like such a win more card. Like if I'm already going to be wanting to settle on a natural wonder, it already has massive yields, and I'm probably changing my playstyle to play around that natural wonder. Um, I don't really want to have to pull myself out of position or out of my game plan to go and get a natural wonder. If like it, I don't know. I like it, but I don't like it. It really leans into that playstyle. But if you're playing Isabel, who also essentially has this bonus built into her, and then you run this memento too, and you find a natural wonder, just GG, game's over, right? Like, I think at that point you're getting like 200% bonus if they stack. I don't know. Holy cow. +1 food per age on districts adjacent to mountains. I don't like the having to be attached to a mountain. There's so many of my towns and cities that I don't have on mountains. I know he's favored to find mountains, but it's rough, right? It's rough out there. Find cloth. +3 sight on scouts, but only if they're adjacent to mountains. Again, kind of very limiting, and most of the map is probably not mountains. I highly doubt most of the map is mountains, so you're only getting these small bonuses when the stars align. Imperial growth, or Imperial crown. +1 gold and food from specialists in tiles adjacent to mountains. Again, very limited. +1 food per age in settlements for each city. Say you're a Caesarian of, all the locals you're befriending. That's actually doesn't feel bad, except when you take into account that it takes you like 15 turns or something to make friendly one of those camps. So it's a 15-turn investment to get 1 food on a settlement in Antiquity Age, right? And your influence is so limited. The games where I've befriended 2 or 3, I've befriended 2 at most in an Antiquities game so far. Not necessarily aiming to befriend them, just kind of did. So I imagine if I really pushed for it, maybe 3, maybe 4 if I'm building a diplomatic character to befriend the locals, which means I'm getting maybe 3 or 4 food per settlement. Again, I've already talked about I'm somewhere around like 6, 7 settlements at the end of the age. That's a lot of food, but it's a lot of investment to get to that food. And that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know if that's really me. I think there are just better things that I can play. +1 production, however, feels a little bit better. Production feels harder to get to. Production feels maybe a little bit more oomph to it than the food. I focus so much on getting food anyway that I don't feel like I necessarily get a large advantage from food. Um, because I've already got so much of it, but production being harder to come by with my playstyle, I feel like I would do better with the production. All right. Let's see. So really like that one. Would consider playing it. I guess is probably the best way to put it. Oh no! Did my game freeze? Oh, there it is. Okay, we're back. What else do we have? War Club +1 combat strength on all units when you lead one of the local peoples. That combat strength is great, right? Like, let's just go ahead and throw that out there. Again, if I can get an extra 2, 3, 4 combat strength easily, that's great. But if I'm getting 3 or 4 combat strength, I'm probably playing a diplomatic character that's based around making friends with the locals and getting them under my watchful eye, which means I'm probably not playing a militaristic leader. And if I was playing a militaristic leader, I could probably just get the same effect faster and in other ways, right? Like 2 combat strength is great, but maybe I'm just building the Terracotta Army, I think it is, gives you +2 war support or something at the start of every war. That feels better, and it's probably easier to use some of that production that I'm already generating a lot of if I'm militaristic to build a wonder that's going to support me better. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. +1 science for commander level really would work well with Charlemagne. Again, that kind of idea of I want to go to battle and I want to leverage my science to be able to do better in battle, and I want to use my battling to do better in science, and this feels like it synergizes well there. +1 war support on all wars is not terrible. Like, just it's a good thing to have. And declaring war against a civilization grants a celebration. This one I like, and this I feel like if I took that and put them on the Momentos on Charlemagne, I'd probably just win the game, right? Like, it feels so good. It feels so strong. And doing the things that you want to do. So if I was playing militaristic, I would prioritize leveling Charlemagne and Trug to get those military science bonus synergies going ASAP, please. I'm sure some other people have some good ones too, right? Like Napoleon Revolutionary, I think is the more military one. +1 movement on infantry probably could be a little bit better than the cavalry bonuses that Charlemagne normally sees. Would synergize really well with her. Actually, cavalry might synergize well with her. I think her unique unit might be like war elephants or something with her. Or I guess that's the civ thing, so it doesn't matter as much anymore because you can pick your civ and leader separately. But anyway, units in command radius heal 10 HP after defeating an enemy unit. Like, this is also just really good. Like, this plus the celebration every time you declare war means you have control over your celebrations. Your celebrations come with a huge bonus, either production, culture, food, whatever you're gaining for the next 10 turns. So you can declare wars for the sake of getting a celebration. And if you time that so you're declaring a war to start a celebration, maybe you're doing that right after your previous celebration ended, so you've got back-to-back celebrations and getting all the huge growth off of that. You spend the 10 turns, you peace out, and then maybe you pick another skirmish with somebody else. Sounds great, right? With this trait here, being able to kind of line up those celebrations back to back in that way. And then if you are in those extended combats, if you're in those extended skirmishes, the leaders in this, the military commanders in this are so strong, right? I try to keep a commander or all my infantry inside the range of a commander anyway. And if I'm able to now pluck off people and just get a little bit more staying power for each time I pluck somebody off, I mean, it's massive. I could have 3 ranged units shooting at a guy and pretty much take him out. And then my melee guy walks into him, might take 10 damage, but he just removed the guy, and now I got 10 health back. Like, this is massive. This is a game changer for staying power on a military as long as you're utilizing your commanders. And if you're playing military, you should probably be utilizing your commanders. I'm getting a little stuffy. All right, Xerxes. I want to hit the two Xerxes because those are the other guys that I've been chewing over. +1 gold per age per commander, experience earned. A little bit of gold while doing the military thing. It's good. Like I said, if you're battling, you should probably be battling underneath one of your commanders. Like, there's no reason to not be getting commander experience. I've been getting, I think, for one targeted action by the commander, like a range shot, I think I've seen 4 experience pop up from a single press of that button. Removing units is giving experience. Doing the battle is giving experience. Most units take 2 attacks or 3 attacks to kill, so you're getting 1 to 2 experience per time that you're attacking them. That's a non-zero gold value. I don't know if it's necessarily game changing. But truthfully, something like just a flat 200 gold or something might end up being more and more beneficial since you get it at the start of the game and can invest it better, and it's set. But again, I'm talking about Antiquity Age right now. This feels not horrible, but maybe not great, right? All right, held in your hand. +4% of your gold income as additional science and culture. Well, if you know that you're converting some gold into science and culture, it benefits you to play economically. And honestly, this is a trait that I would get and would consider running on my man over here, right? Like Eben. If I'm converting some of my gold into science and culture, and I already know that I want to create gold because I'm playing for an economic victory, or I'm getting my trade routes or everything set up, which is just going to passively give me gold. Converting some of that to science and culture to progress through my trees just that little bit faster without having to zero in on science and culture plays really well with that play style of I can play wide, I can play without specializing per se, and still continue to get my across the board benefits. So I actually really like Xerxes King of Kings, level 5 Memento. Really like it. All right, and is 9. Extends favor +3 gold per age for other civilizations settlements you have conquered. I mean, it's military, right? Like, if you're going to be taking towns, getting gold from it's not bad. I think my biggest thing is if you're taking towns, you're probably generating gold because you now have more towns. You're probably better off like playing something that gives you bonus happinesses, or maybe using that gold to build happiness buildings could be the answer. But riots and unhappiness has really been a downfall of me through my antiquity plays so far. And truthfully, with the settlement limits, at least again in antiquities, I don't feel like I'm taking many settlements. I've only got 7 settlements at max. One of them's the city that I started. I probably needed to get a couple extra cities or towns up to like fund that city. So I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of use out of that with my playstyle. But I haven't been playing militaristically. But also, as we talked about, militaristically, I've got 3 military leaders that we just looked at that all have really good mementos, and this memento just doesn't feel as good compared to those others. This one, though, I like it. All right. Xerxes, the Archimand. A little bit different play style here, right, on him. He's more culturally driven, so +2 culture per age per active trade route. Again, my play style has been economic wide, cultural to some extent. So this would synergize pretty well with my trade routes or with my play style. I try to have a trade route open with everybody. I've been playing a lot of the Mississippians, which have a unique trade unit that they pick up off a code of laws. So trying to get those resources early for my economic victories. I pretty much need the trade routes to bring in the resources. So since I'm already going to be leaning so heavily on those trade routes and getting the advantages that I create for myself from trade routes, picking up additional culture so that I can move through the civics tree a little bit faster and a little bit easier just seems pretty good. It's more of those like I'm already doing this, so picking up a bonus from it doesn't seem horrible. Overall, I don't know how it stacks to the other traits that I've been looking at, but I would consider it for sure, right? +1 trade limit with all other leaders. I just mentioned I'm trading like crazy, right? Like I'm dependent on pulling in those resources. Having additional trade routes seems good. I actually really like this. Um, so far, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe there's something that I can look at expanding it, and I just haven't seen it yet. But so far, it seems like in Antiquities, at least, the way that I've been playing, again, if I haven't missed any civics or technologies that change it, I can only have one trade route per leader. So I'm pulling in 2 resources per leader. If I can now double that, my economic victories have kind of shifted. And my priorities may shift with that now, right? Like I might need less towns because I don't have to sprawl and get the resources myself. Maybe I can build more big cities and pull in resources from my opponents. Um, so kind of again more of a, even if I'm playing economic with something like this, I may not have to sprawl and play wide. I may be able to play tall, and still be able to support the win condition that I like. I really want to play with that. That actually is pretty cool. And then finally, +3 culture and gold from unique buildings and improvements if you have 3 or more unique buildings and improvements. Okay, so unique buildings and improvements. I'm chewing on this one, right? So each civ has a unique building or improvement or both. I don't really know. I haven't played the game that much enough to know that for sure. I haven't really focused on that aspect of it. You can also get a unique building from making friends with one of the tribal uh, pods on the map, right? The native kind of peoples. Each one of them have their own building that kind of lead into the type of person that they are. I've been befriending about 2 of them per map. So between my civ's unique building plus the people that I make friends with, if I choose to take their unique building, um, I can now start throwing these bonuses out. +3 culture and +3 gold for unique buildings and improvements if you have 3 or more unique buildings or improvements. Okay, so if I have 3 cities and I put a unique building or improvement in each one of them, I now have 3 of them. So I qualify for this bonus. Does that now give me 9 culture and 9 gold because I'm getting the +3 from each one of those? Or is it once I hit 3 buildings, I get 3 gold, 3 culture, and then I get 3 gold, 3 culture for each edition? I mean, I don't know if it necessarily makes a difference. Again, I've been finishing Antiquity Age somewhere around 6, 7, 8 total settlements. And if each one of those settlements have unique buildings and improvements, that's a non-zero culture and gold intake. If I'm playing with that kind of diplomatic cultural sway, I could definitely set myself up to befriend those other civilizations faster, maybe get this online faster and start getting that gold and culture coming in faster. Yeah, so I like these. I always game with pen and paper next to me so I can make notes like this. So we have Xerxes, Archa. We do want to level to 5, maybe 9. For the memento there. What else did we like? Did we like anything out of normal Xerxes? Or King of Kings? For my playstyle, did we like anything? I like Lotus Blossom. Xerxes, King of Kings, level 5. Again, I'm just kind of making notes to help keep myself on track with some of these things that I liked on the way. I like this guy's, but it's definitely further down the list. It's more of a when I get to it kind of thing. but I liked his level 5 pretty well. Um, we didn't go through everybody, but we've spent about 40 minutes now just looking at leaders, traits, and how they synergize with the guy that I'm looking to play. Confucius, I'm not really doing a lot of specialists right now, especially as I'm farming the Antiquities Age to try to get my playstyle down a little bit. Um, I really like Catherine the Great too. She feels good to play. Her traits are pretty good, right? Um, I wonder if you could do some like silly shenanigans with. So this guy has his traits of roar and set rolling. Commanders receive plus 50% experience during a celebration, right? So whenever a celebration's going on, your commanders are getting more experience, right? That's what that says. And then you've got something like this that declaring a war against somebody else starts a celebration. So if you're running those two mementos alone, you're already getting a huge bonus on what's going on. And then you can look at some of your other traits that leaders have naturally, and maybe there's, or I'm trying to think. I think somebody has one that like you gain science per commander level. Okay, that works. You run it with like Xerxes of when a commander gains experience, you get gold, and if you're running plus experience when in a celebration and um, bonus, or start celebrations every time you declare a war, you now got huge amount of experience being generated on your commander. Um, if you're running a bonus, I think Xerxes has this trait or something similar to it flat in his kit too. I'm pretty sure this start a war starts a celebration is flat on her kit too. So maybe if you take battle axe and lion capital and put it on this chick, now you're declaring wars left and right and generating a bunch of bonus experience, and that bonus experience on your commander is generating extra gold to continue to fund your wars so that you can, in all these satellite settlements that you're setting up, all these different towns you're settling up, you can now buy the buildings to make them beneficial. You can buy units to keep your war machine going. Different things like that might be a really good kind of strategy to help streamline, propel your military machine, if you will. All right, what else do we have? Things that I'm looking at. Ashoka, plus 1 food for happiness I like. I really like his level 5. During a celebration, 1 happiness per quarter. I really like his level 5. His level 9's not that great, in my opinion. Not something that I would like run for this build I'm looking at. Like, it's not bad. It's just not great for me. Gold per age per resource. I'm not really hurting on gold the way that I've been playing. I do like her level 9 for cultural. Let me make a quick note. I mean, again, I don't think this is going to be priority. I'm not going to grind her to level 9. But Augustus also has a good um, level 9. Alright. Well, these are all things that I want to start playing towards. And of course, my main man himself. I think Ashoka is who I want to focus on right now. This level 5. I'm really leaning into this, right? So gain 100 food in capital when you spend an attribute point on the expansionist attribute tree. So the more expansionist points I spend, the bigger my capital gets. The bigger my capital gets, the more I'm able to expand, for lack of a better way to put it, right? Like, more people is more better. And I'm really looking at some type of cheese starting out. because this guy starts, like, his trait is he starts with 2 attribute wild card points that he can spend. And if I do like this memento plus 1 that says give an expansionist point or something, I could put 3 points in expansionist potentially on turn 1. So I could found my city, drop those 3 points, get 300 food in my capital just right off the bat, and being able to start with a city that's working that many things feels awesome, potentially. Um, if it works that way. I don't know if it works that way. I haven't really tried it, but that's what I want to work towards. So I want to get Ashoka going. That's it. Well, bless me. That's what I want to work towards. Plus, his play style is one that I want to continue to work on, right? Expansionist, diplomatic expansionist here specifically. So plus 1 food in cities for every 5 excess happiness, plus 10% food in all settlements during a celebration. So more celebrations are more better. Oh my gosh, I keep sneezing. I don't know what I'm allergic to. And then all buildings gain plus 1 happiness adjacency for all improvements. So develop my cities big, develop my towns big, so that they're generating happiness. All that happiness is turned into food. Food is turned into more people. More people turns into more developing big cities. So again, kind of a tall play style, if you will, as opposed to wide. I haven't been doing as much tall play style. That's what I want to lean into, and I think this guy will help me, right? So mementos for that. I'm playing tall. I'm playing tall. Since I'm playing tall, I want more cities, so I'm not going to run increased cost to convert to cities. I think I want to take an expansionist card, probably. I really don't see a reason not to. 200 additional gold doesn't feel horrible. I could invest that well on early buildings and things like that, just to, again, if I'm trying to get my population going, I can get things like granaries up and going faster. If I'm getting those granaries up and going faster, I'm generating more food. If I'm generating or buying in the buildings that give me happiness, I'm also generating the food. Like, it seems okay. Social policy slot, not bad. You start with tools that give plus 1 science, plus 1 production or something in your capital, and the plus 2 culture. If you can start with putting both of those in, and you're playing an antiquities game, which is about 130 turns or so, roughly speaking, maybe closer to 150. I've been playing slow. 150 turns, 2 culture that I normally wouldn't get. 300 culture is enough to unlock an extra civic, and more importantly, unlock some of the civics I'm looking for earlier. So something I might want to consider. Growth. If I'm playing tall, that synergizes well. But I'm looking at playing through Antiquities Age right now, and I don't think I'm going to be putting specialists much during that. Plus 1 gold for imported resources seems okay, but probably not great. Plus 400 gold for every settlement returned in a peace deal. Well, I don't want to return settlements. I think I'd probably do better keeping the other. Okay, plus 3 sight, 1 movement. Like plus 3 sight instead of plus 1 on lookout ability. I use that a lot. I honestly, I really like that. It's limited in the fact that it's really, 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 really good when there are things to explore, which means the start of the game, this is freaking fantastic. You're getting huge value on the first couple turns of the game because you're seeing things so much faster than your opponent is. But as soon as that first continent is explored, this becomes useless. So this is a huge first 10 turns, not even 10, probably first 30, 40 turns. You can probably get a lot of value out of search. After that, well, and lookout. To be fair, I use my lookouts a little bit going into like setting up for skirmishes and things as I move into more of middle to late Antiquities Age. In my last game last night, I didn't stream it, but My first time streaming Civ 7. If you're liking it, follow along, right? Um, but when I used a scout, I dropped him in a lookout on a choke point, which kept an opponent confined into an area, and it allowed me to see when they were mobilizing. And I was actually on Discord with a friend, and I said, "This guy's getting ready to attack me. He's got a lot of units that he's building up, and because my lookout was on his border at kind of a choke point, so he couldn't move past my scout. It was nice." Which was also important because he had a settler there. So I was pushing him back into his territory because his settler couldn't get out to settle coming towards me. And I think that's what ticked him off. But all of these units are starting to come up, and he kept going into these diplomatic actions to try to tear me down or worsen our relationship. And like four times in a row that he tried to do that, I spent the 120 influence to just be like, "Nah, bro, we good. Good joke, good joke. Go back home," and not worsen our relationship, so he could never declare war on us. And it bought me enough time that I got an ally offer from another one of the AI players. And at that point, I'm allied with somebody. He's not going to go to war with me because I've got the ally on my back. So, lookout. All that to say, I do use lookouts, and I use them try to strategically place them at the corners of my empire as I start to expand, so that I can see when people are encroaching on me. Fog busting. A couple of turns heads up could mean the difference in what I'm doing. Like if I didn't know that guy was mobilizing a scout and an army and starting to dance around a lot in his territory like that, I wouldn't have known that he was going to start tearing down my relations so that we could go to war, which means I might have spent my influence a little bit more poorly, so that I couldn't dismiss his accusations. Lookout, save me. So we're going to take this. We're leaning real heavy on our expansionist play here. We're trying to get big cities. We're going to try to grow. All right, we're playing big. We're doing antiquity. We're playing tall. Who are we playing tall with? They recommend military, scientific, or expansionist scientific. Anything here that really sticks out to me? Districts on rivers do not remove the natural yield of the tile. Actually feels pretty good, right? Make my districts a little bit stronger. Things like my bathhouses and granaries or something can now also benefit from the tile's natural food. Feels okay. A cavalry unit, elephant, higher combat strength but slower movement, immune to food or flood damage, ignores a zone of control. I don't know what a zone of control is. I haven't really come into that yet, but an elephant cav feels nice. Unique merchant can establish a trade route to import resources from foreign settlements, immune to flood damage, ignores movement penalties from wet terrain. That doesn't necessarily feel like much. My merchants are moving a little faster and they're not getting slowed down by rivers. I don't have to worry about one getting washed away in a flood. All of that's kind of fluke accident stuff anyway that I don't necessarily feel like is super impactful in the game. I do tend to play around merchants, so having a unique merchant doesn't feel horrible, but I don't know that it necessarily does much. +3 food, just generally speaking, +3 food, and then +1 food on all floodplains in this settlement. It's ageless, does not remove warehouse bonuses on a tile, must be placed on flat terrain, and 1 per settlement. So if I'm looking at that, right, like I'm generating more food, more better. Quickly skimming through the other things that I might want to look at. Egypt. Sorry, I heard Discord go off, so I looked at Discord. I don't know what was dinging me about. really wish I wasn't so stuffy. Um, all right, so what I like here about Egypt, right? Unique infantry, no maintenance, +3 combat strength and friendly territory, and doubled when stationed in a settlement I own. So these guys defend themselves. If I'm not going to go to war, Egypt seems like a pretty good choice because I can defend myself. They're cultural, economic, which means they don't really want to go to war anyway, right? I'm fine with that. Um, uh, these things tie into each other, right? Um, get gold when I complete a wonder. So if I'm building wonders, this is pretty cool. +3 culture and gold adjacency for desert, right? Okay. I don't really want to be in the desert. I don't want to generate a ton of food, I think. I mean, Egypt's not bad. I'm thinking I don't hate it. This one is what's really drawing my attention, right? Because Ashoka has happiness is converted to food and celebrations are good bonuses. Right? So every 5 excess happiness becomes a food. So I want to stack happiness where I can. So if a Civ has bonus happiness, that's good. And I'm getting bonus happiness from improvements and well, just improvements, um, buildings, and 10% food during celebration. So my goal essentially is I want to get as much happiness as I can to get into as many celebrations as I can. Um, and happiness here on this building is what's making me look at Egypt. 4 gold, 1 happiness, um, when adjacent to navigable rivers or wonders. Happiness is good, right? Greece has a happiness. Look at that. +3 happiness and 1 culture, adjacency to quarters and wonders. Cultural diplomatic. I like that. I mean, +3 happiness and 1 culture adjacency for quarters is nice. If I'm building quarters, I can do a little bit of planning and with my Greeks, make sure I'm putting down things that are giving me quarters, right? Stacking them on top of each other, placing them well. If I place down an odium, and then place quarters around it, stacking that happiness bonus with my leader ability to convert the excess happiness into food, taking that happiness to start my celebrations or whatever, I think is how that works. I don't know. I heard that there's a distinction between global happiness and local happiness. I haven't really dived into right now. I just like smiley faces, so I'm playing around with smiley faces. And the Greeks seem to synergize well with that. Influence as well, if we're already talking about it, right? Like, I love influence. Influence seems like a finite resource. The Greeks may be what I want to play. Morning, been messing around with it myself. UI is a bit, but overall been happy. Look, I've heard people talk about the UI being a little weird. The only gripe that I have with the UI right now, let me think, is it the only gripe? I have 2 gripes with the UI. I have 2 gripes with the UI. One of them I've worked around completely, and it is if you have the tutorial turned on, there are pop-ups that prevent you from seeing what's on the map. Let me say that again in a different way. When I was playing with the tutorial on, which I felt like was important for me to learn the new game and learn the new style of play, early turns, specifically turn 1, I'm trying to hover over the resources around my starting city, and it wouldn't tell me what the resources gave me. So I'm in a new game trying to learn how to play it. I see resources, they're new, I don't know what they do, and I can't see what they are. That felt clunky as fuck. Like, so counterintuitive. If you go into the game options and turn off tutorials, you can now hover over the resources without the pop-ups from the tutorials being there, and you can see things totally fine. And there's no way to dismiss the tutorial, so it's not like you can just leave it on and be like, oh yeah, it's telling me to found my city, that seems important, let me dismiss this message now and see what the resources say. No, when you minimize the thing, it just pops into the corner and you still can't hover over resources. That felt stupid. Um, again, that feels kind of minor. I guess if I'm at the point where I'm dependent on the tutorial to teach me how to play the game, I guess the argument is I don't need to min max to the same level to know exactly what the resources are doing. So maybe that's me being hypersensitive and trying to be the kind of split the line. Like I want to see what the tutorial is teaching me, but I also want to min max. And so far, I've been streaming for nearly an hour about what mementos I want to play and who I need to level up to get said mementos so that I can play this optimal game where I haven't even left Antiquity Age. I've done 3 games so far where I've beaten Antiquity Age, and I have no desire to go into exploration right now because I feel like I need to learn Antiquity more. So clearly tutorials are not for me. Um, the other UI gripe that I have is the tech tree feels like shit right now. I remember, obviously I didn't play much Civ 6. You might know that, right? I we played right. Like you introduced me to the Civ franchise and really created a monster there, right? Uh, but we played a lot of 3 and 4. 5 kind of tapered off for me a little bit. There were changes in 5 that I didn't really like as much. I mean, I kind of played it some, but I didn't like it. And Civ 6, I pretty much own. I probably played next to nothing on it. Can I pull it up? I mean, it's on Steam, right? I should be able to pull up how much I have on it. I may own it on Nintendo Switch too. It's one of those games that I always buy when it goes on sale, and it's always on sale, right? Um, but Civ 6, how much playtime do I have on it? I don't think it's much. I installed it this week to make sure that I got my Napoleon. Civ 6. I have 32 hours of Civ 6, so not much. Civ 5 on Steam, I only have 15 hours, so take it for what it is. But I remember in those games, there was like a whole challenge, right? You click on future tech and you research whatever text it gives you in the line that it gives you, and it doesn't work from left to right. It works from like top or bottom to top or something as it goes through. I can no longer click on a future tech, right? Like I have to click on the one that I'm going to research. And if I try to click on one and it's locked, it just says locked. It doesn't tell me why it's locked. And the lines, and this is the part that really gets me the most about this whole tech tree thing, the lines connecting one tech to another tech are shit. Like, holy cow, are they all over the place? It's like my toddlers drew those lines. They're disconnected. You can't see where they're going. It's rough. Um, I don't know. So that's my gripe with the tech tree. So between the tutorials blocking the map and the tech tree being hard to read, those are the 2 major UI gripes that I have. There are some other things that could be tidied up that will probably come with mouse over tooltips. Um, for example, when you're going through the card, the attribute point trees, and it says that things are locked, it doesn't tell you how to unlock them. It would be nice if it says, level Ashoka to level 5 to unlock his legend trait or something. And it would be nice if that tooltip was there, or if there were things that a lot of 4X games, right? If you hover over, like if I was a new player and I wanted, like, what does happiness do? And I just kind of mentioned there seems to be, and I can't confirm it, a local happiness and a global happiness. And global happiness feeds into your celebration, and local happiness is if your cities are rioting. And they may be the same resource. I really don't know. It's hard to tell. But it would be nice if I could click on happiness. If happiness was hyperlinked, Stellaris does this a lot, but a lot of other 4K games do it too. If I could click on happiness and it says, happiness is a measure of how happy your citizens are, right? Happiness is generated on a local level, and this local level feeds into how much you have on an empire, and your empire can be happy, but one city can be upset, rioting, and refuse to work or transfer to a different leader, which always fucking happens in the last 5 turns of my Antiquity games. I'm happy all the way through. I get to like 90%. I've got 3 crisis cards, and all of a sudden all of my cities start rioting, and I can't seem to progress that last 10% for like 20 turns, and in the last 5% cities are like, nah, we dip it, we go in somewhere else. It's frustrating. So it'd be nice if happiness was a little bit more zeroed in. Also, unhappiness in this game is really tough during those crises if you haven't seen it yet. Um, People start rioting, they destroy buildings. The buildings they destroy are always the buildings that provide happiness or provide resources that provide happiness. Um, my second game of Antiquity's Age, I had a lighthouse that was holding a lot of resources for me. Those resources, I stacked the city with nothing but happiness resources. And every freaking time there was a riot, they destroyed my lighthouse, which kicked out some of those happiness resources. So not only did I have to go repair the lighthouse, but then I had to re-put in those resources to generate happiness so that they would stop freaking rioting, but they never stopped freaking rioting. It was horrible. I ended up losing that city. That was one of those cities that decided to dip out on me in like the last couple turns of the game. I hated it. Uh, all right, so I'm thinking Greeks. What else do we have here? We could go with the Han. They've got happiness on the Great Wall. The capital and new towns gain additional population with their first growth event. Am I reading that right? Every time I put down a town and it grows one time, it essentially doubles twice. So, what? Holy cow. All right, let's see. We can train a great person in towns that have, or in cities, I'm sorry, cities that have more than 10 population. Um, they're random, don't really know what they do. They could be good, could be bad. Would be nice if I could click on it and see like maybe a list of all the different random traits that it's talking about, but we don't have that option. I like Han right now. That extra people are extra good. Um, we talked about the Kamar, digging that. What else do we have? Anything? Maya. Palace gains science for adjacent vegetated terrain. Vegetated terrain. Now, I'm not an idiot. I know what vegetated terrain means. But it would be really nice, since this is the first time in the game's interface I've seen it referred to as vegetated terrain, for me to be able to click on that and see what that means. For example, does that just mean a plains or grassland tile? Or does it mean a farm that I've put on a grain or a flat grassland tile? It would be really nice to know if I had to improve the tiles next to my palace to get the science bonus, or if they just need to exist. Again, maybe I'm griping a little bit much. I could probably figure it out by getting in and playtesting with it. But if I have to playtest a feature of a game when there's this many choices and I've already got choice paralysis, I don't know that that's really a good choice. All right, all buildings receive +1 food adjacency for resources. I've really liked playing the Mississippians. +1 gold and food for adjacent resources. Unique trade route creator merchant guy. Merchant, that's what I was looking for. Really been getting a lot of value out of these guys, and synergizes extremely well in my playstyle with the Burning Arrow guys. The +3 against siege units hasn't been super noticeable for me yet, but ranged guys are a great defending unit, and since I just kind of tower up in my own lands and forget about everybody else, I've really been liking these guys. Anything here? I don't see happiness. I don't see food. Oh, I'm not digging it. Rome. 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 Pretty sure Colosseum provides happiness, so that could be a pretty good choice. We do have Temple of Jupiter, which is +3 happiness. Unique commander. I'm not really using my commander much. My legions. I mean, I guess if I'm progressing quickly through my civics tree, I could just have traditions and have stronger legions for the sake of having stronger legions. but it's not something I'm really going to play towards. Legatus, again, not really. I'm not planning on playing military too much, so I don't think that's going to help me much. I'm thinking this play is going to be the Greeks. I'm thinking the Greeks. Let's do it. Let's jump in on the Greeks. Here we go. We got to get some experience on Ashoka. Oh, I don't think we're gonna play that high. Let's just do this one. Standard's fine. Continent plus is good. Whatever. We're on a small continent. Let's go. Let's jump in. Let's see what we can do. Again, most of my play here right now is just to get some experience on Ashoka. I already forgot like half the stuff that I picked. I don't know what mementos. I've got 2 expansionist mementos. My goal overall is to play kind of tall, less wide, more tall. A lot of my play so far has been really wide. So these are the goals I'm working on today. Oh, I've been so excited for this game. I've been watching videos on it for weeks leading up to release. Took today off, obviously, just to sit around and play Civ all day. Really excited to see what I can do. Feel like I've learned a lot. Alright, since I don't have the tutorial on, I can look at what these resources do. +2 food in the capital, +2 food in 2 production. Holy cow! That is our priority. These other ones are okay. Is this... yeah, navigable. We like navigable. 1, 2... See, if we were Han and we had our first growth, we could grow to here and then grow to here instantly. Just wha-bam. Thank you. We'll take the grassland. Why do you want me to put the city there? Seems like an interesting choice. Ooh, thank you for the subscription. We appreciate that. That goes a long way. Alright, why... Hold on. Let's talk about this for a second. You think you have better yield within 3 tiles from there? I think you're stupid, game. Like, why would you want me to put my city there? It's a preferred terrain. Do I have preferred terrain? Shit. What's... Okay. What terrain is it? Oh, hey, it does say vegetated. Look at that. What terrain is this? Non-existent? This terrain just doesn't exist? Hello? Okay. We'll talk about it later. Why I settle there? 3 tiles out. I don't even know what's over there. I mean, I don't know what's over there either. So it's a little bit of a gamble. I don't know if I really want to move to settle, though. It's not like this is a flood area, which is good. I don't want to flood out my city. Is it because it's more protected? Because of the river? It's harder to attack? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think that matters to me. I think we're going to go here. I think we're just going to do this. And I'm probably going to try to hopscotch to this as soon as possible. If you don't know what that means, I'm going to show you. All right. Production. What do we have? We press the scout button. That's what we do 100% of the time on level 1. All right. We also have started with our expansionist card. We have all of these massively good choices here on the first level of expansionist. We're going to take 25% production towards settlers, right? That's good. Now, what do I want to do? If I'm playing tall, traditionally I would want to play towards increasing my specialists at the sake of giving up additional cities. But since in my mini ramblings today, I mentioned Antiquity's Age. I don't traditionally place Specialist. I don't feel they get a good value. That I can't ramp up enough bonuses during Antiquity to really get it. I'm more trying to sprawl out my land. I don't think that's going to be as important. I also don't think I'm going to be getting to this bottom tier, but on the off chance that I do, I'd rather have a city limit, or a settlement limit, I think. If we backtrack, +1 food per age on warehouse buildings feels pretty good. We probably make the granary anyway. So I earned that attribute point came from one of the mementos. One of my 2 memento slots currently is start with an expansionist card. The memento for that, I think, came from just generally leveling up my player level. Like 90% sure. So, yes. By playing and leveling, and I'm only like level 7, 8, something like that. I really haven't done that much. Like I said, 3 games of Antiquity has been enough for me to unlock it. All right. I'm so stuffy today. I wish I knew why. All right. 10% growth in all cities is good. Probably better than 1 food on warehouse. But what else comes from it? Plus 25% food is refunded when cities grow by adding a specialist. I don't play specialist. X that out. All right. Gain 1 populations in towns and new towns. Start with an additional population. That's the Han thing that I was just talking about. If I was playing the Han and I had this plus the Han passive, and I start a town with 2 population, and then the first time it grows, I gain essentially 2 population instead of the 1. Because I don't know if this is going to trigger the Han effect. But either way, when I would normally have 2 population, I now have 4 population. Feels fucking broken. I probably should have just played the Han. I really like this. So I'm definitely going to go this path. Yeah, we're going to work towards that. All right. So that's our foundations. Real quick, for anybody following along that wanted to know what I was talking about with the trees, this is what I'm freaking talking about. Look at this shit. Writing is actually unlocked from pottery. I know you're looking at that and you're going, but look, writing goes into that line and that line goes down here. You might need sailing and pottery to unlock writing. Well, you don't. You actually only need pottery to get to writing. Sailing only is needed to go to currency. And speaking of, look at this little clusterfuck. This is where I'm like, it looks like my toddlers drew this line. It's all off center here. Now I'm playing in 8K right now. I bought a new monitor that's really stupid, but I'm playing in 8K. It's beautiful. And these lines are so disjointed. I'm not sure if the stream does it justice. I think I'm streaming in 4K. I think, but I don't know how to set up my stream, so who knows? But this looks bad, is what I'm saying. So yeah, doubling back on your question, there is a player experience and there is a civilization experience. I don't think I can articulate it well from here, but every game that you play levels up your character, and every game that you play with a leader levels up that leader. Both have unlocks associated with them. Most of the unlocks are bonus stuff, right? Like you can play the game totally fine without any mementos or anything like that. What you get from unlocking it are mementos, as talked about, and I used the card slot as a memento to gain that expansionist point, which definitely gives me a bonus, but it can also just be turned off outright if you don't want to mess with mementos, or if you want to play multiplayer, and some people have advantages because they played the game for 40 hours and have all mementos or something like that. It can be bypassed. The other thing that you unlock from playing these nations are mostly cosmetic. So like the borders and the colors and the picture on your 2K card. It's something that's seen a lot in like Call of Duty. You can unlock the backgrounds of the cards. So now you have this unique calling card. And if you play a lot of Ashoka, maybe you have his photo in the back of your icon because you really synergize or relate to this leader or something. That's the other main thing. Now, there is one other kind of unlock that I've come across, and this is what I was talking about as a UI problem that I don't like as much. I I can't even remember how to get to them. Let's go back to our attribute points. So if I'm in my expansionist, right? We were looking at this. I put in my 25 here, 25% bonus production. Yay. I take this one. And now it says Legend Unlock, plus 50% gold towards converting a town to a city. Now that seems pretty good, right? Like half of my city's cost is just covered. What it doesn't say, and what's not specified here on the tooltip, is Legend Unlock means that you have to level up Ashoka to whatever level he gets the ability to do this. And it kind of synergizes with his playstyle is the idea. Each leader has their own legend traits that make their version of their play a little bit different. So Ashoka, World Renouncer, is an expansionist Civ. He has a special expansionist attribute that's unique to him, I think. I don't think any of the other expansionists have the same trait. And he says he converts his towns to cities at a reduced price. Or rather, 50% of the gold is already provided for that. Same kind of concept, right? It makes Ashoka play that more of a tall expansionist as opposed to a wider expansionist. Someone like Xerxes has additional settlement limit built into his kit. So Xerxes wants to play a wide expansionist. He wants to set up a lot of towns, maybe just a few of them being cities. Caesar is the same way, right? Augustus. His thing is he sets up a lot of towns. All of those towns give extra production back to his main capital. So his traits may be based more around having a lot of towns and a few cities, whereas Ashoka wants to convert those towns into cities and play big cities with big bonuses. All right. I've been streaming for an hour and 20 minutes, and I haven't even hit to turn 2 yet on this game. It's amazing. Also, Freya's going crazy downstairs, which means Tyler's probably here, which means I may be switching over to a multiplayer game anyway, depending on what his plan is. All right, so we have 5 gold per turn with a massive 0 in the treasury. We're generating 13 influence because we're playing the Greeks. We get that +3 bonus influence on our palace, which is amazing. Otherwise, that would be 10. A 33% increase from turn 1 is massive. Science is at a 10. Culture is at a 10. Happiness is at a 5. We're 1 out of 3 settlements, and we're going to be there for a hot minute because even with our bonus production to settlers, we've got a moment. We've got to hit in turn to finish agriculture. And Chieftain is underway. Turn 2. Look at that. All of this work leading up to turn 2. We have agriculture unlocked. We can now build a granary. Granaries +1 food, +1 food on farms, pastures, plantations. Warehouse buildings are ageless, so building them is fine. +1 food on farms if we master this. Or maybe that's just a trait. I don't know. I'm having a hard time reading this. All right. That's just a trait. It's just +1 food on farms. Okay. All right. Ugh. Can we grow our city? Do we have? Yeah, no. We haven't been able to grow our city. I'd like to be able to grow our city because I don't know what improvements matter right now. Like what? I'm still a Civ noob, and when I hover over something and I see grassland floodplain, I don't know what the improvement is there. Is that a farm? Is that a fishing building because it's a navigable river? I'm pretty sure this is an aquatic tile, so this would be fishing. And that's important to me because this set of traits, right? The way I look at this is, what does your city have the most of? What improvements are you going to be using the most? Do you want more food on plantations from pottery? Are you going to be building a lot of clay pits, mines, and quarries so you get the extra production? Or are you building a lot of pastures? Do you have a lot of camps and woodcutters? And that's kind of the difference between pottery and animal husbandry there. And then to the other effect, are you on the ocean? Are you on the water? Is the fishing key going to be important? What up? Dude, I'm an hour and 20 minutes into the stream. I'm on turn 2. This was the tutorial you should have been watching. Hour and 20 minutes into Civ.
Did you say turn 2?
Technically just started turn 2. I'm picking my technology. Hour and 20. I've gone through Civs. The one that I want to play is not even the one that I'm playing, right? I went through all the different Civs and the Momentos that they unlocked to give Ivan a bonus.
Bro, I can get there in like 10 seconds.
Bro, I don't want to hear it. I finished the whole Antiquities Age game last night. We started at the same time. Technically, I probably started after you, right? And I finished the whole Antiquities Age game. I was on turn 140 something, and you were on like turn 60, and you're like, I'm going to bed.
Well, technically, I started after you multiple times.
You did start a lot. You did. I actually talked about, I alluded to that a lot when I was talking about that leader and his mountainous trait. I'm like, mountains are really fucking good if you're next to mountains. But if you look at how many mountain tiles are on a whole continent, you've probably got like 7. Like, I don't know. There's like 40, 50. No, that seems low. Probably 100 tiles of the continent that we start on a small continent. And of those, there's probably 10 mountain. So what are the chances that your city is going to be on a mountain? Like, hey, you get +4 food if you're next to a mountain. But where the fuck is the mountain?
You only get that.
All right.
Once ever.
I should have played the Han. That's what I've gotten from this so far. Although I'm playing the Greeks right now. I playing Greek because they get +3 influence per turn. I'm playing Ashoka World Renouncer as the Greeks. By the way, I hope all that works. I don't know what Candace did over there. She definitely took the mouse. The monitors were in some funky places, so I don't know if everything's connected. So if you connect to the Switch and it doesn't fire up immediately, let me know. I may have to crawl under desks and rearrange stuff. All right, back to questions over in the stream. Okay, there's a player experience. Yeah, thanks for the help. Never learned tiles upgrade from Civ 5 onward, so interested in having you educate me on tile development. Yeah, I need to work on tile development too. That's one of my big things, especially with the way quarters are introduced. And you get to put 2 buildings down to make a quarter, but every time I try to stack buildings, they're the same fucking building and they override each other. I don't know how it works yet. I'm figuring it out. For some reason, every time I try to put down 2 buildings, like if I wanted to build a granary and a bath or a market, right? I should be able to put those 2 down to create a quarter, but for some reason, my selections always want to override each other because I don't know what I'm doing. So we're going to get there together. And when you expand in the city, it tells you what they become, right? They do. When you're placing down a population, so when you get a population growth and you have to assign it what tile to work, you get to see what it becomes when you work it, which is really nice. By the way, oh no, I thought that was giving me 4 food, but that's the 4 turns until I grow.
Going under the desk.
Did it not turn on? What didn't turn on? What doesn't have power? I might be back.
Keyboard and both monitors.
Nothing turned on.
I don't even think the switch turned on.
Switch is on. It's got lights.
Oh, this one. Is there a blue light on that?
Okay, that monitor. You didn't actually have the monitors on. You got to press the power buttons. So.
Then what about the keyboard?
Well, did you press the power button on the keyboard? What do you think? Everything's just plug and play, Prog? Come on.
That's how it all supposed to be.
You know what? You're right. You're right. Keyboards traditionally don't have power buttons, and this one does not. Also does not have power button. Okay, I'm going under the desk. This is a power cord. This. Ah, there we go. You just didn't have the switch set up to your computer, so the keyboard wasn't registering that the computer was on because it was still connected to my backup computer over there. Oh. You had to hit the switch button, switch it over to your computer. Keyboard says, "Hey, it's on. Here's power." And the monitors, you just had to hit the power button. Come on, that's too much. I know. What do you think of this new monitor? This 8K behemoth.
That is nice.
Right? When we're not playing Civ, I'll switch over to Power World. Remember how I kept making comments like the game looks so much better? Beautiful game. Everything is just way better on this thing. This is 8K, I think. I mean, I don't know the pixel count specifically, but that the breakpoint between 4K and 8K, it's at least Ultra HD 4K bare minimum, but I'm pretty sure it's 8K when I started comparing the pixels. I don't know. Darkin recommended it to me, and he spends my money better than I do, so just heads up, it's not cheap.
Yeah. No, I've already realized that.
It's not cheap.
If it's on your desk.
Hey, so a question that I have, and it was just asked in my chat too, right? There's no way to zoom into the cities to see what's going to be developed on a tile if you assigned a worker, unless you're assigning a population to work it, right? Like, there's no way. You know, when you're on the population placement screen, it'll show you like, oh, little chicken icon because you're building a farm here or something. Right. There's no way to zoom into that screen essentially until you're placing a population.
Not that I've seen.
Okay, that's what I thought too. So if we're both thinking that, it's probably true. All right. So here's the broken thing about scouts if you didn't know. Scouts have 2 movement, but they can spend one of their movement to do a search. Search traditionally says +1 sight range.
Wait, what?
Yeah, come see this. This is important. You and I play different games. So scouts have 2 movement. This one started in my city. I moved it 1 square.
Join this tutorial.
Yeah, just come on over. You want to play from my handheld? By the way, everybody on the LIX community on Reddit says that Civ 7 plays beautifully on the LIX. So if you want to just play on the handheld while you sit over here and watch my stream, you can. I installed Civ on it yesterday while I was supposed to be working. All right. So I moved the settler, or not settler, scout. I moved the scout 1. He's 1 of 2 movement. I press this search button. The whole fucking map is illuminated, right? So now I know what directions I need to go. I have a neutral power over here that I want to go try to explore. I've got a couple of goody huts down here. I've got this thing. So the way search works is it expands your sight range, and then it doubles that sight range for any discoveries. Discoveries being goody huts, or I think resources fall into that, like natural wonders fall into that. So it's huge. Now, to be fair, I'm running a memento that increases my sight range and increases the range of my search and lookout. So the reason I have illuminated massive amounts is because of that. Normally, I probably only would have seen to here. Which is still a good amount. Like maybe here, but probably here. What up? You stole his gaming chair.
Also, were you able to get your setup?
We talked about it. We talked about how you came in like a wrecking ball, destroyed my whole
I took my
setup.
mouse.
Had to bring my own mouse. This is unacceptable.
Technically, we got mouse. You just not gonna like it.
I would have pulled the one from the from the LIX computer. I would call it a work computer, but let's be real, it's the LIX.
We're gonna head over to the field park.
Okay. Yeah, since your car's full of crap.
Yeah, and
Well, the Casey car seat's easy to put in, but your car's full of crap.
although I will tell you, the Mazda might need some tightening on those car seats. When I was in there today, I was a little like,
Okay.
like Andrews was pretty good.
Wibbly wobbly. All right. So in addition, while we're talking about the search button, which illuminates the whole map, which is awesome, you can also leave the scout stationary, and he can build a lookout tower. So he stays there, but he has that same increased sight range while stationary. That's good. What I was explaining earlier is like after I explore the continent, I'll put the scout in a location that's like kind of off my city. Like maybe I'd put the scout down here as a lookout and let him explore this area down here so that I see what things are happening before they actually get to my city. All right, so now I'm in the tough choice. I've got a goody hut up here. I've got a town over here. I've got a goody hut here. I've got goody huts down here. I got a goody hut over here in the fog. Oh, here's where it, these two goody huts over here in the fog are the discoveries.
Why are those showing?
Because they're the discoveries. So I can see however far out, and then twice that far I can find discoveries. So this is one that I actually see because it's close enough, so it removed the fog. And these are ones that are very discovery, so I can see them in the fog and can work my way that way. All right. All right. So I've got some fishing. I seem to be on the coast. This definitely looks like ocean. Yeah, it's open ocean. Okay, so I'm definitely on the coast. Going sailing would not be bad because I can build a fishing hut and get extra food tiles from the ocean. I can embark, which is nice. But I've got resources around me, a pretty good amount of resources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resource nodes that are all pretty close to my city. So even though I'm on the water and want to probably eventually develop the water, I'm probably going to put a lighthouse here. I'm probably going to put the fishing key over here, and I'm going to work out this way. They might not be priorities for me. Since sailing is not a priority for me, I can go another direction. Pottery opens up the opportunity to go writing, which gives me libraries, and I can put codices on display to get the extra science. What are the 7 gold tiles in the FOW? Chris, I don't know what that means. Ask it different. And then what else do I have?
Ask it different.
I mean, what's FOW mean? Fog of War. Fog of War. What are the gold tiles in the Fog of War? That's a great question. I have no idea. Like flavor of the week? Like what is FOW? Fog of War. Okay, that makes a whole lot more sense. I don't know what these are. Maybe they're impassable tiles. Can I? Nope. It's passable apparently. I don't know. We'll never know. We'll never know. What we do know is I need to pick my tech. I'm still on turn 2. Hour and a half into the stream. All right.
I was also trying to figure that out, and when I came up with this, they're just random.
So, well, they're not random. Oh, no. The gold tiles?
Yeah.
The gold tiles might be random. Gold tiles might be random.
I think the Fog of War is just the art of the Fog of War.
Yeah. Hey, Darkin. Hamira's here. Say hello. All right, so we can clay pits, mines, and quarries, get extra hammers, get extra food on plantations. Seems good, but I don't know how many mines, quarries, clay pit things I'm going to have, and this is where I would really love to be able to see what the tiles develop into at this stage. Or I can go animal husbandry, giving me the saw pit, giving me woodcutters. I can kind of see that, like, this is a tree thing. It's probably going to go woodcutter. This might go woodcutter. I really don't know because there's small trees. I don't know. I don't know enough about the game yet. I know I want to work towards cotton because 2 food and 2 production is going to be the best tile I can possibly work early game. The extra food and high base food off of this grassland tile is going to be massive. If I knew what these things converted to, I would pick my thing here based off of which one is upgrading those tiles. You probably are going to buy the game, download it, and conquer the map before I decide to pick pottery, which I'm probably going to end up picking pottery. You're right. Well, no, because I can pick slinger if I go animal husbandry, and ranged units tend to be pretty good. I need them both for irrigation anyway. I'm probably going to want to pick irrigation pretty early because it gives me a settlement limit. I don't need the settlement limit early. Gardens are good for food. Hanging gardens are good. I'm going to take animal husbandry. I'm going to take animal husbandry. We got horses. At the very least, the only thing I know for facts, I am going to need to get animals. I'm not even going to build cavalry units for a while, or probably ever, but I'm taking the horses. All right, let's choose a production. Second thing, we're taking a scout. We got a lot of the map to uncover. All right, turn 3. Here we are. Hour 35 minutes into the stream. We're going to turn 3. We can grow our city. Here's what I'm talking about. We got a woodcutter. We got a woodcutter. We got a woodcutter. Well, woodcutter came from animal husbandry. Maybe I made the right choice. Except only one of these have food. We, over here, are building a fishing boat, fishing boat, fishing boat. I guess because they're navigable rivers, they're fishing boats.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What are these? Are these all flat grasslands?
This is a forest, vegetated. This is taiga.
Vegetated.
Yeah. And I still can't see what I would need to develop over here. So that's kind of BS. Now, I can take this food, gold, happiness, and be closer to this tile, but I really want this cotton. Cotton is what I want overall. So even though I'm giving up a happiness to develop this fishing boat first, I'm going to develop the fishing boat first. Now, I can't zoom back into my city. Well, they are both fishing boats, but this fishing boat gives me 1 food, 1 gold. This fishing boat would have given me 1 food, 1 gold, 1 happiness. But I need to be able to extend my border to get this cotton because the 2 food and 2 production I feel is more valuable. All right. Okay, so that feels good. Now, our scout, we're going to take him up towards this first goody hut. Are you going to actually go over there and play and not watch the 2-hour-long tutorial to get to turn 7? Look, we're speeding up now that you're not asking questions.
I'm going to listen in as I...
Next time I say something like, scouts have a special ability.
Yeah, then I'll come back over.
All right, we got to move our unit in. We're going to cross the river. Not a lot going on. Clicking through a lot of turns here as we wait. Still moving. Collect this goody hut. We can get 50 happiness towards a celebration and 30 culture. Culture could be good. We can get our chieftain done faster. 75 gold. I don't really value gold this early in the game, so let's take culture and happiness. Got a lot of mountains. Maybe I should have played the Indian guy that gives bonuses on mountains.
You only get mountains when you don't play them.
That is true. I mean, how many times did you soft reset that game? Like 10 times looking for mountains?
Yeah.
And you never had them once, and then you jump on another leader and mountains.
Surrounded by mountains.
That's the name of the game.
Like this one, surrounded by mountains. You know what I'm not on?
Probably not playing the Indian guy.
Nope.
Who are you playing?
Egypt. Double Egypt.
Double Egypt. Egypt. All right. Egypt leader. Egypt. Civ nation. I like it.
Pretty shitty start.
God, this search ability is just so good. I've already found this upper part of the continent. Maybe put a city up here somewhere. Maybe like right. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. That's a lot of resources over there. I don't know if I want to go that way or not. Feels good. Oh, got a hostile scout down here. Grow our city. We're going to pick up this cotton. It's too valuable not to. Alright, keep making our way down here, get this next goody hut. Our next scout's gonna go out this way. Alright, Darkin, you were gonna buy it anyway, but we can try to find out about this gold thing as we go, right? I'm pretty sure pretty sure there was one up here, but I don't remember what tile it is. But this one, underneath this culture, and the one next to it have gold. This one has gold. We'll keep an eye on it as we continue through our next turn. All right, what were you saying?
I'm on turn 3.
I'm on turn 8, dog. You got to catch up. I'll give you opportunities because we're going to talk about civics. All right, so civics are broken down. We got cultural civics, our civ civics. These follow you through if you have researched them in this age. You can take these civics with you into the next age. So I can have Greek cultures, even though I've developed into my expansionist or exploration um, exploration civ timeline period. And then you have your antiquity ones. These are the same across everybody that's playing in the antiquity age. So I don't know what the Greek ones are. Base 3 happiness on the build. Oh, that's my unique building. I like that one because it gives me the happiness. It's actually really good. I'm probably going to go with that. It's pretty dang good. And we've got an increased settlement limit from our Greek civs too. And +2 culture for every native people I subdue. Yeah, we're going that. All right. We got our next scout up. All right, Chris, you paying attention? Let's see. We've got this gold tile over here. We're gonna move over here. We should be able to see. Hello? Oh no, we can't move that far. I was misreading my cultural border as my movement area. Oh, we gotta wait. Okay. Anyway, what else do we have? Let's choose our production. What do we have? We can do a granary. Granaries are not bad. Oh, and it gives a happiness. We like happiness. Let's go ahead and plop it down with our palace. Get that happiness. Again, we're playing Ashoka, so happiness is good because happiness leads to extra food. We can choose a government. I like how it presents a choice here. All right, so town versus settlement versus city. Great question. Town versus settlement versus city. A settlement is a settlement, right? When you start the game, you start with a founder. Founders found your city. Every additional settler that you make after that is a settler. They start a settlement. A settlement starts as a town, and a town will grow and send its resources in the form of food towards your cities. Later on, as your town grows, you can choose to convert it into a city, in which case a city you're able to produce things in. Cities produce production, the hammers, the production used to build stuff. Towns produce hammers, but all of those hammers are converted into another resource based off of what town it is. By default, they're growing towns, which means they produce extra food. But later on, once they get to, I think it's like 6 or 7 population in the town, you can choose a specialization for that town, and that town turns its hammers into gold and sends its food back towards the city, or converts those hammers into something. I'll show you when we get there. It's a little complicated, but towns and cities are not interchangeable. Cities are, you have more control over. They hold different resources. They have more resource slots in a lot of cases. Towns feed your cities. Quite literally feed your cities because traditionally they give food. All right, so our government, we get to choose what type of government we have. There is a background counter based off the happiness that we're generating where we do celebrations. Every celebration, we get a bonus. If we're on a classical republic, we can get 20% culture for 10 turns when that celebration happens. Or we can get 15 production towards wonders when that celebration happens. I like that these give you a choice, but in reality, there's really only one choice for me. I'm going oligarchy. 20% food is good. Production towards buildings, I'll end up using quite a bit. I'll use those buildings to try to make things, but town is used in settlement. Settlements are towns and cities, but towns are not cities, and cities are not towns. Squares and rectangles kind of thing. So settlement is the incorporation of both towns and cities. It's everything that you own, found, start, dream about starting, um, versus town being just specifically not cities, and cities being specifically not towns. My understanding, anyway. Again, I am an hour and 45 minutes into the game at turn 8 and have only played Antiquity Age 3 times. All right. This guy's already moved. We got social policies. We can put policies in place. We're taking hammers and science fascisms. I know, that felt wrong. I won't do that again.
Thank you.
Good talk. All right, let's go. Turn 9. Woo! Here we go. We unlocked animal husbandry. We can make slingers. We can unlock a technology. We can not go irrigation or writing, so we're gonna go pottery. Let's get some pots going. Let's collect this hut. We can pick up 45 science or 75 gold. I don't value the gold this early, so we're taking the science for sure. We just knocked out over 50% of our pottery research. We're going to be smart potheads. All right, here's a gold tile. Darkin, are you watching? Civ 7. I probably am the expert on Civ 7. Forget all these people that have been playing for months and doing videos 1 hour at a time because of lockdown and stuff. All right, so we're going to move one tile. We have a gold tile here. Let's watch it, see what happened. Oh, how anticlimactic. We can't see it. We didn't go far enough to see it. Next turn. This is clickbait material right here. This is what this is. All right, here we are. Are you ready? We're going to do it. I'm actually going to move to this tile. We're going to see both. There's literally nothing there. It's flat grassland, but this flat grassland was not a goal. I'm under the impression they're random. I'm under the impression they're just there to make it look like not Fog of War. See, some of them have these little beetles, some of them have lions, some of them have the gold. I just... You don't need to buy the game anymore. We have it figured out. Sorry, Firaxis, you lost a sale. Oh, that was fun. All right, let's search over here, discover a big piece of our map. We have all of this coast that we don't have to spend movement on anymore, which is great. I can now direct my character back towards this goody hut. We can beeline towards that one and that one. We have another cotton over here. I really value cotton early. I value these camels. I'm thinking I want to set up a city like over here and a city over here. Are my rough guesses. They might be too close to one another, but this is kind of what I'm looking at. And if I develop cities in this way, I can use my borders to really section off this piece of the map. I can make this guy friendly with me. How much do I actually need? I need 170 influence. We're at 117, gaining 113, or I'm gaining 13 a turn. I wish we were gaining 113 a turn. All right, let's continue. Darken, if you need to know, apparently it plays really well on the handhelds. My LIX, I haven't actually tested it myself, but lots of people are saying it plays well. So your Steam Deck, I imagine, will also play it pretty decently. Even though your Steam Deck is not as good as the LIX. And I like pointing that out any opportunity I get. All right, we're in the market of making food and making happiness. That's really what we want to focus on. This has food, this has happiness, this has a resource that gives additional food. There's really no choice. We're clicking that button. All of these resources are defaulting to our capital because we have space in our capital for them. We're now making 15.5 food a turn and 8 production a turn, 2 gold a turn, added onto our base of 5. 1 science a turn, not great, but it's something. 8 happiness. The happiness is important because we're playing Ashoka. We're getting those celebrations going, but we're also turning excess happiness into food. And finally, our influence is doing decent as well. Oh yeah, being able to like flag a space to say, hey, I want to settle here. Hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. Yeah, I kind of wished I had that ability. I guess the question comes down to: are you the only one that can see it? Can other people see it? I don't know. My LAX has a warranty on it too. That doesn't even make sense, Darkin. Um, I don't really know where I want to place cities yet. I mean, I just press this button, right? Like, I want these camels that are over here, but I'll probably end up settling more on this stream since it's not a flood point. But I'll have to see. These three things are really good, right? Like +2 food, +2 happiness. I value that resource a lot, so I might settle like on the river, so I can pick up all of this. I really value the camels since I'm going for economic. Putting a city over here, I definitely agree with that. It's protected from the mountain, and we're not flooding over here, but we have the access to the flood for the additional food and production. Um, like, yeah, this tile feels really good to settle on, and will almost assuredly be my second city or town settlement. God, words are hard. All right. Um, well, I mean, the other thing is I don't really plan on breaking my X. I don't think you should plan on breaking your Steam Deck either, just because it's under warranty. Like, I mean, it really seems like a moot point talking about warranties since I've never had to execute on a warranty in my life. I take that back. My HVAC system broke a couple of months into me moving into the house as a new construction, so it was fully under warranty. They came out and replaced a capacitor, so the only warranty that I've ever used in my life saved me $75. $75. You made me buy $1,000 monitor, and I saved $75 on a capacitor for an HVAC unit 6 years ago. I hope you're understanding the warranty means very little to me. We've made it to turn 11. Finished our second technology. We're cooking now. We've met a new civilization. Who do we have? Is this Lafayette? Lafayette of Rome? Let's be friendly, because I don't want you to attack me. My goal is to sit on my corner of the map and kind of forget that you exist until it's time for me to have trade and bring in resources from you. You gave me one extremely unreasonable suggestion and said that it would be your first pick, so I bought a $1,000 monitor. The others were a decent suggestion with half the price. But you said best pick. Hey, so Chris, question came up. I was talking about it earlier. What is the difference between 4K and 8K? Is it just pixel count? Is this monitor technically 8K, or is this just high definition 4K, Ultra HD 4K, or whatever? What is the difference? What's the breakpoint? Is 8K a thing? It's not really marketed much. And I don't know enough about this crap, and I don't want to Google it when I have you here that could just answer it for me. All right. We can go irrigation. Hey, Casey. We can go irrigation, build our garden, get some food, get our settlement limit, hanging garden. We're probably not going to make a hanging garden anytime soon. Production is valuable this early on. Probably actually best going writing before irrigation. I've been doing irrigation first. But we're going to do the writing. All right, what else we got? Nothing this turn? Bada bing, bada boom. We're moving. We can get +15 production over here. We're making our granary so we can finish that up. Get 75 celebration. Celebration is growth or building production because we went oligarchy. Ooh, that's a granary, so that's also going to be growth. So they're both kind of growth. I don't think it really matters much. There's probably a slightly more mathematically correct answer. Let's click happiness. All right. What we got over here? All right. 4K equals 3840 by 2160. 8K is a lot more. It's 4 times the pixel. Super duper ultra special HD with AI enhancement. Okay, so this monitor is 4K. What up? Oh, hey, I didn't even see you there. You were under my arm. You're little. You want to play Civilization? Are you going to be a world leader one day? Let's see. We can do this. Can you wave? You don't see you, but you're over here. You just gonna keep waving? You don't know who you're waving to, and they're not waving back, huh? Alright, what we got? This guy's already... Has he moved? You're still waving. Your arm's gonna get tired. You see Uncle Tyler over there? Say, hey, Uncle Tyler.
Hi.
Hi, Casey.
Kind of came out as one little slurred together phrase. It's fair. We live in the South. We don't have to pronunciate. We just say things and people know what we mean. Sometimes.
I was going to say debatable.
All right. +3 happiness. Yes, we hold on. Let's think about this logically for a second, Casey. We want to take the happiness. +3 happiness per turn in cities sounds good. We're turning excess happiness into food. Food is growth. That sounds good on paper. But that's 60 influence, and we've only got 136. We want to make this guy up here in the corner our friend. That takes 170 we looked at earlier. Ay, ay, ay. I think we're gonna have to say you do you, Lafayette. We're not gonna get in your way. We're gonna take bonus influence right now. We're still waving. You like the waving part, huh? Yeah, that's Uncle Tyler from over top of the monitor, huh? Hey, Uncle Tyler.
Hey.
How come you're in a different outfit than you were earlier? You change a lot. Did you spill stuff?
Hi.
I think you probably spilled stuff.
He's in a different outfit than when I saw him.
Hi.
Pretty sure I had him in a sweatshirt and jeans.
Me.
It's you. Oh.
Mommy.
Yeah, that's a picture of me and Mommy.
Daddy, cookie?
This is not working. This is what I say is working.
This is what
Oh,
he
you
knows.
want a cookie?
This is what he knows that she's working.
You want a cookie? They're peanut butter Oreos.
What?
Here you go. You want a cookie too? Yeah, Uncle Tyler wants a cookie too.
Daddy, cookie too?
No, I don't want a cookie. I think Uncle Tyler ate them all. When I go to the store to get stuff for lunch, I'm gonna have to get more.
They're not gone.
They're mostly gone. Don't let him lie to you.
Thank you, Daddy.
You're welcome. You have such great manners. You're slipping. Oh, this guy's hostile. That's not good.
Daddy, your door?
Yeah, he's gonna try to beat me up. That's not nice. Say not nice.
Daddy, not nice.
No, not Tyler. Tyler's nice. This guy's not nice.
Not me.
Me?
Some-
TV?
It is as big as a TV. You're right.
TV, no, not nice.
TV, not nice. The TV's nice.
TV, not nice. Me?
Yeah, stop saying my TV's not nice. It's technically a monitor. Do you know the difference between monitors and TVs? The line's gotten really blurred over the last couple of years. I don't know the difference either, but I'm sure Chris can tell us. Gain earliest available technology, and it only cost me 50 gold. Yes, please. That seems worth it. Yeah, unless you want them. You want them? Okay.
Wait, a bus.
He can hang out up here for a bit. Once the bus comes, are y'all going to the park? Okay.
Cookie.
Yeah, you're gonna ruin your lunch. She's gonna be so upset about that. I don't know if she had plans for lunch.
As if anything's going to ruin this lunch.
Hey, sometimes he doesn't eat. Ooh. We found Benny. Big Ben has entered the map.
Yes.
Can you say Big Ben?
Benny Frank?
Big Ben.
Benny Frank. He's on a dollar bill. Not like a single dollar bill. Hey, be careful hitting keyboards.
He does not like Ben Frank.
You don't like Ben Frank?
I do. He's on my favorite money.
He's on your favorite money. Alright, we don't need to really do anything with Benny Frank right now. Oh, would you stop trying to slide off my knee? Either sit or get down. Those are our options.
Hi, Daddy.
Alright, Darkin didn't let us down. He's telling us the difference between TVs and monitors. TVs have a bunch of image processing that happens usually that adds latency. Most TVs have a PC mode that basically turns them into monitors. There are also some edge cases with TVs that have older subpixel configurations that make text look weird.
You?
In short, monitors are just better TVs.
Boy?
Yeah.
Baby?
I mean, I guess it probably makes sense. I remember a long time ago, Casey, the answer used to be a lot easier, and it was TVs play sound and monitors don't have sound. But now people have started putting speakers in all the monitors just to make me have to change default sound settings. That's the only reason they've done it. It's not convenience.
It makes sense.
Hi, baby.
Yeah, not convenience.
Wait.
That's Lafayette.
This?
That's Ashoka. Can you say Lafayette? You can barely say English words, huh? French words are harder. Is Lafayette French? It sounds French. I can't say I'm very familiar with it. Do we want to gain culture? We don't want to gain culture because we don't want to lose influence. We're trying to stockpile our influence. So we're going to tell Lafayette, you do you, homie. Can you say you do you, homie?
Daddy, help me.
The doctor did help you when you fell and bumped your eye and your nose. You know what else would help you if you just stopped getting hurt? Can you work on that?
Daddy, help me my nose.
I know the doctor helped you with your nose, but if you didn't fall, the doctor wouldn't have. Oh, I forgot there was a goodie hut right there and we moved past it.
No.
Yeah, you had me distracted. I blame you. You're not a good co-pilot. Let's move up here. Let's do a search in this direction.
Yeah, but the doctor helped him with his nose.
The doctor did help him with his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daddy, help me
Yeah,
my
I'm
nose.
listening. I got you.
Also, that was a singular Oreo, and there is chocolate everywhere. Yeah. How are you so messy?
How do you want me to?
You smell like peanut butter.
Is it working?
I don't see a problem here.
No, Daddy's not working. Daddy took the day off so I could play
Oh, it
video
is
games.
Friday.
Oh, you touched me with chocolate hands. You need a napkin? Okay. We're not done. I think it's nice that you thought you were done. Yeah, chocolate all over you. Not just your hands. I don't know how one kid manages to get so chocolatey. It was one Oreo. Oh, you waving? Hey.
Hi, Daddy.
Look, here's Casey. Let's see if we can make it bigger. Can we do this? Look, there you are. There's a little delay, so you're still waving from the last time.
He's gonna be stuck in an endless loop of waving.
Yeah, it's every time he stops, Stream Him starts. This is gonna go on for a while.
Yep.
Let's put your shirt down. We don't need to show people your little tummy.
Hi.
What are you teaching us?
We don't know.
Gonna get
Hey.
you banned.
You see you. This might be the most entertaining thing I do all day. You just wait for Stream You to do something and then you do it back. But it's funny because you already did it.
More game.
More game.
Yeah. Oh, it's away.
More game.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye, Daddy. You.
Yeah, that's me.
Daddy, wait. Daddy, wait.
Okay, I'll wave. You're slowing down this game. I'm only on turn 14. And I blame you now. I started getting my stuff together.
I don't believe it.
When's your brother getting home? Don't you need to go somewhere? Get your brother off the bus? No, come here. You don't need free reign in this room. No, come here. Okay, bye.
That worked.
I don't know what kind of trouble you think you're going to get into over there. I'm almost a little more scared with him being out of the room. Oh, God.
I'll be back.
Mommy's on the phone. Mommy has to. You want to see what Tyler's doing? Look, he's doing the same thing.
Wow.
He ain't got nothing on this second monitor. Could be watching my stream. But ain't got nothing.
Right.
You wanna
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
You want to go to the park? No, you stay down there. You stay down there. All right. We're back. Where did we leave off?
I don't remember.
I think I'm setting records over here. Turn 14, 2 hours and 10 minutes. All right, next turn. Press that button. Where are we going? What are we doing? We're growing a city. Growing a city. What do we have any resources we want to grow towards? Horses are just, we're probably not making cab units. We can get bonuses to production. We can get happiness in the capital. Plus culture during celebrations with the wine, which seems half decent. I say half decent because I really don't want to grow to that tile. It doesn't feel great. And then the salt is really something I need to go out of my way for. On a pure development standpoint, that's probably one of my best tiles that I could grow to. This one as well. They don't necessarily get me any closer to picking up one of these resources, but I don't necessarily need the resource right now. The happiness would be decent, thanks to me being the Shoka. I'll probably just end up taking that. I can grow towards the line. No, I'll probably end up taking this. The food and the happiness is probably better right now. And we'll do the food and the happiness. The happiness might be converted towards food because, you know, Ashoka and food helps me grow. Growing faster means I can get the line later. It was a long thought process to get me to what I was going to do anyway. Has anybody started making friends with you? No. Okay, that's good. Has anybody started making friends with you? No, that's good. All right. We can pick a production. We can get production. We can do a fishing key. Do a fishing key here, which is not terrible. We might be doing that. Ooh, we could start our second city. We are having a really tough time deciding this. Oh, Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to build the fishing key here. That's going to pull up our population. That's going to allow us to replace our population, and we can place the population over here, which is just a better tile to be worked naturally, because it gives us the hammer plus the food plus the gold, whereas this one was only, I think, 2 food, 1 gold. This is essentially giving us a free hammer, plus we get the extra population or the extra happiness from the other. Boom. Being in the corner of the map is a good thing. I don't have to worry about getting flanked or anything. I don't have to fight a 6-front war. My buddy Napoleon tells me that's not great, to march into extended territories and far side of the world. Let's see. Where are we going? We can go this way around the mountain edge. Oh, apparently Andrew walked in from school and said the house smells like Papa. Any idea what he could mean, Uncle Tyler?
No.
Yeah, me either.
That's weird.
That's very weird. Kids say the darndest things. I kind of like this area over here too. I got a lot of resources here. I value sheep a lot. Some more wine. Gypsum, straight up production. Eric says, hey. How come more people are saying hey to you when they join the stream than they are to me?
Hey,
it's kind of bullshit.
What up? I'm cooler.
No kidding. Alright. Let's explore down here. Found another ocean edge. We really like that.
I'm not even on the
really
stream.
safe.
I'm just a voice.
I'm not on the stream either. Turned off the camera when Casey left.
Oh.
Alright, what else we got? This section looks pretty good. We can go this way, go back down, start fleshing out some of this. Still never went back and got that camp that Casey made me miss. Oh no, there's warriors. Did I not get attacked? Oh no, I got attacked. Let's go this way. Run away. Alright, same kind of debacle we were in before. We can develop for growth and happiness, or we can develop for resources. The resource I'm most likely to capture, or would consider highest priority, would be happiness, which essentially translates to food. All right, we'll do it. We'll capture some resources. Dagnabbit. Nice. I was gonna ask, but I didn't want to be like intrusive and ask too much. Like, I definitely don't ask her, right? But you know, I gotta laissez-faire. Take my hands off of it. I put the wheels of success in motion, left it in your capable hands, and hope for the best. But I am intrigued. I do want to know how it's going. I want to know that it's still going, most importantly. Oh, my scout may not make it out down here in this corner. Now that we're on the plains, we can get a little bit more movement going. We might be able to get him out alive. Brickyard and saw pit. So our saw pit is probably more advantageous. We definitely saw a lot of wood, trees, forested area. Let's take that. This scout is going to move here and search Legatus. Why is his general out and about by himself? It's an interesting choice, Lafayette. It's a high value unit to be scouting with. Alright, Scout, keep booking it. Keep booking it. Alright, what's this do? Spend 1 turn of gold, which is 7 gold, to gain 40 food back in the capital. That seems pretty good. Or we can just take 50 gold. I don't value gold very much, so let's do that. Speaking of, while looking at gold, I realized I have influence to spend. Is anybody converting you? No. Is anybody converting you? No. But you're a military person, and I am not a military person. Let's make friends, so you can fight my battles. And I don't want you being all hostile towards me. If I'm going to put up a city over here, look, we're too close. I need you to protect me. That's your job. All right. We have a narrative choice. We can take some culture, we can take some gold, or we can do +1 culture on the palace, but minus 25 gold. Well, short answer is gold's not very valuable to me early game, and I have some. Culture is good, but 25 culture lump sum is nothing compared to the fact that I'm probably going to be playing another 100 turns. So minus 25 gold now for +1 culture every turn for the rest of the game feels a whole lot more mathematically correct. No, I didn't. I was going to, but I didn't. Eric wants me to tell you that when Eric was visiting, Casey had a really tough time understanding Uncle Eric. and kept calling him Uncle Tyler the whole time.
Oh,
Kid can only focus on one uncle at a time.
one uncle.
It's a lot for little people to take in.
He got half of it right.
Hey, that's right. The uncle part was there. That's the important part. All right, let's start working towards code of laws. Looking at our horribly designed tree that was drawn by a toddler, we know that we need mysticism and discipline. Let's take mysticism. Mysticism gives us altars. Altars give +2 happiness and +1 happiness for additional wonders. We like happiness. Happiness and food. That is what we do in this campaign. Well, see, come October, November, when you're around more, he'll have it down pat. He'll know the difference between Uncle T and Uncle E. We have writing. That's good. That means we can build a library. It means we can get our codices on display, right? Because I don't think I come with a default codice. Oh, I do have one default codice slot. Okay, so we need to unlock some codices. Codici? Do we want science? Do we want culture? What's more important? Let's get culture. We're working towards... I want to get some trade routes open. That's kind of what I'm targeting. Trade routes come from Code of Laws, which is in civics. So culture right now is important to me, right? So Code of Law to get merchants so that I can start bringing in trade resources. I've got a couple people near me that I know I can trade with already. Like this guy I can trade with off the bat. When I get the second city set up here, I'll be able to drop in on these guys once I make them not hostile. Start bringing in some good stuff along the way. All right. Tech tree. What are we doing in technologies? Currently, we have enough resources, but we're going to start expanding quickly. The resource spot from market could be good. Food from bath, always good, right? So that's a possibility. The other thing that I'm looking at is irrigation. Irrigation takes a lot less time. Gardens are also good. Settlement limit's good. I'm going to start hitting the stride where I want to start putting up multiple cities. So the merchant only builds a road if it's within like 10 tiles or something, or if it's not connected by water. I think they favor water paths potentially. So like technically when I open up trade with I'm not going to try to. I'm going to try to butcher it, but it's going to be bad. Kuaji. When I open trade with them, it's probably going to be a water route rather than a road route. But when I pop up a second city over here, I may build a road here. I don't know. It may be a water route. I don't know what the distance is on water routes, but they're huge apparently. All right. What else are we doing over here? I need to get this guy away from the hostile people. At least until I can calm them down, which is 14 turns. They're going to be hostile with me for at least 14 more turns. That feels like forever. Especially when I talk out all my turns. Hey, we finally found Lafayette. Ooh, Lafayette's over here. Does that change my expansion? I was really targeting putting a city here and another one over here. But if Lafayette's over here, maybe I should shift this way and try to grab these resources and pinch him in. Ooh. Things to think about. Things to think about. Let's have this scout. He's defended between the mountains next to the elephants. Let's have him go ahead and heal up to full. This one, swing down this way. Have you go over here, and once again, we're going to scout. Hey, that's the first time I've ever seen two neutral camps with the same resource or the same I don't know what to call that, economic focus. Normally, I've only ever seen like one economic, one culture, one of the sword and shield guy. I didn't know you could have two of the same type on a map.
I only have two of the same type on this map so far.
Interesting, interesting. I want to build that, but that's 8 turns. I really want to get a settler up sooner rather than later. We're going to take that. We're going to come over here. We're going to press scout again. Look at that. We found a natural wonder. This game is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, look at those resource gains. 4 culture, 2 happiness on every tile. That's crazy. Natural wonders are insane. But it's way down here in the middle of like everybody that's hostile with me or potentially could be hostile with me. So there's no way I'm going to put a city there. Ain't that a son of a bitch. Alright, what are we doing? We're still thinking about putting our city over here, which is good. We're still thinking about a city over here somewhere that we'll zero in on later, probably like here or something. If we wanted to pinch off Lafayette, we could put a city here, giving us access to sheep, wine, marble, iron, gypsum. 1, 2, 3 horses are just out of our range. That's a good city. It's a real good city. Ooh, that's a good city. That's probably the best city. I mean, like, this one's good too. That's a lot of food, happiness from the dates, the desert, camels. We like camels. Camels give us resource spots. Resources give us good stuff. We're probably going to go this way, though. I mean, it's just so good. So good over there. So good. It's pretty passable is what I'm saying. Back here in the main city, we're expanding. We're taking wine. We're going to get our people drunk. They're going to be happy. Happiness is good for us. Plus the fact that that tile produces food on its own is pretty good. Lafayette, you won't open borders. I don't want to make you mad. So we're going to do it, but it kind of defeats the purpose of me trying to pinch you off if you can just walk through the borders. Like a bad turd, we just want to pinch you off. I'm going to wrap back this way and try to explore over here because these guys are still kind of hostile with me. And by kind of hostile, I mean they hostile. There's not really a kinda on that, I guess. they mad. What else we got? We have enough influence now. We can start building friendships over here. I probably should have picked this one. I messed up there. I should have picked this one. He's in the middle of both of the other guys. I should have started that timer ticking faster than ticking this timer. We can gain 1 happiness in all cities if we train 3 warriors. We can gain 1 culture at an altar in this settlement if we train a settler. Found a settlement, rather, which kind of one and the same. Or we can just gain 25 science outright. Let's take the settler. We're working on that anyway. We'll get the cultural gains going. Lafayette, you want to make people happy, but I just spent all my influence, so alas. We can't do that. We can, however, pick a new civic, and we are going to still be targeting our code of laws. Discipline is going to be what we're picking. Choosing a pantheon. Somebody already took the Earth Goddess from us. That's alright. We could take Sacred Waters. The altar receives a +1 happiness adjacency for coast, lakes, or navigable rivers. So if I do something like put an altar here, it could get a ton of happiness. And by a ton, I mean like 4, assuming it stacks. And I'm pretty sure it stacks. I mean that I get rid of 3 food. That's a base 1 happiness. That's pretty good, but that's also only 1. If I put this over here where this city's going to be, I do have a... I can do something like that. It's next to a couple of tiles. It could get some value. Goddess of the Sun is just 1 culture, 1 food, 1 gold, 1 happiness, 1 production, and 1 science on the altar. It just gives you a little bit of everything. Doesn't matter where the altar is, it just exists and is happy. Or Goddess of the Harvest, +1 food on farms, pastures, and plantations in the settlement. Goddess of the Harvest is pretty good. But this is considered a warehouse bonus. I think my granary is a warehouse bonus. I already built granaries. Sacred Waters or God of the Sun? Which one? Which one, Tyler? Which one? God of the Sun or Sacred Waters?
Sacred Waters.
Sacred Waters. He said, try to stack happiness. All right, we will. We'll try it. I think this was the wrong choice. I mean, God of the Sun gives like, what, +4, +5, +6 production, something like that. It's just 1 of everything without having to accumulate it. I'm pretty sure I'm only going to get like +4 bonus happiness from a perfect placement. I think I made the wrong choice. I don't think I should have listened to you.
You didn't explain the choices.
I did. I explained them. You just don't listen.
That's fair.
Lafayette, we're not making alliances. Go away. It's not what we want to do. Ooh. Ooh, that altar gets +8 happiness. Woohoo. It is a +8 big swing. I mean, it's too good to pass up. How do we not? Yeah, put that altar in there. Put that altar down. Oh my gosh, don't think twice. Just do it. Come on. Meanwhile, we get to replace this person. Replace them here. Seems good. Oh, we have our settler up and running. Literally run across the map over there. This scout, go this way. What turn are you on over there?
31.
Oh, you passed me. Well, I just actually progressed to 31 too. All right. What do we got? 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 Scout is up. Oh my God, Lafayette put a city up here. We can't pinch him off if he put a city behind us. Oh, no. No. Jesus Christ on a cracker. The amount of mad I am right now. I can put the city here. I think we still just got to do that. Pinch him off, make it uncomfortable for him. Dagnabbit. Lafayette. You ruin everything. Are these guys still hostile? They're still hostile. Don't need to get too close over there. Oh, these guys are hostile too. Hostile guys, bad. They've got a warrior and a slinger right next to me. The scout is very likely going to not let... Oh no, the warriors are preoccupied with somebody else. We have a shot at running the fuck away. Help me, Tom Cruise. Alright. Run this scout away too. Feel like I can't really do anything with my scouts right now. Let's go ahead and have you set up a lookout. There's some hostile guys down there, so you can move one and search, kind of see what we're looking at. Wow, that's 3 gold camps on the map. 3 gold neutral peoples. That's a lot of warriors coming my direction. We're going to abandon this lookout post and just book it. Get over here. Might be about time that you come and set up a lookout just generally over here too. I'm not really doing much exploring anymore. Anybody? Oh, Big Ben's befriending you. Next turn, we'll have enough gold to start another befriendment. Look at that. Got our next settlement up. We got our road connecting the two. We're nice and happy. Got a narrative choice. Got +1 culture and a settlement. We can grow. We're going to grow towards the sheep, which means taking this. Oh, a technology, a technology, a technology. Let's take currency. Do we take currency? No, let's master writing. I'm going to take that oligarchy, get that extra food production. We can now befriend people for cheaper. It's 114 to befriend somebody now. He has a few turns ahead of me, so I could potentially steal this person from Big Ben by dumping influence into this. Or I could take the surefire thing, or almost surefire thing, and try for Yeeling. I don't really want to waste my influence and miss out, but I would love to steal this from Big Ben. Let's try to steal it, shall we? Doesn't that sound fun? Let's race. Oh my gosh, I totally must have read that wrong. I just jumped up to like neutral. We take that. Holy Christ on a cracker. What the frick did I... How? What? Social policy plus 50% influence towards the initiating and progressing the befriendment of an independent project. So we get 50% influence towards it and 50% of the progress towards it. Holy cow! I did misread that. Well, we won that. Took that from Big Ben. Glad we decided to do that. That's my takeaway there. That feels good. That, not for him, but feels good for me. All right, we got Big Ben wanting to do some sciencey things. My science sucks. You do you, Big Ben. I'm saving my influence because I need to get more neutral camps on my side. So, um, I don't I don't really want to partake in your joint science ventures. All right, we got another civic. Hey, these people like me. They're giving me gold. I love how I'm like, oh, I don't value gold early, and all of the neutral camps on the map give gold. The thing that I say that I don't really value. Let's get code of laws, start bringing in resources, choose a production. What do we want to do now? Choose a production up here. We're going to start pissing people off. We need to get some units on the field. I'm going to bring you over here, and we're going to set up a lookout post. We don't really have anything to worry about over here now that we've made these guys not hostile by getting 50% through their influence bar. So we're feeling okay, but we can still fog bust, especially if we're thinking about putting our next city this way, which I am, because I want these dates more than anything. We've got an army commander. You're more likely to see action over there, so move that way. Can you do anything? Can you buy stuff? You can, yeah, just buy one of these. That's fine. I want to move you, preferably where this mountain's not going to be in the way, and set up a lookout on this side of the map. I don't really need my lookouts over here. Like, this section's pretty well walled off, and these guys are now on the path to being my allies, which is great. Well, these guys are pretty close to being my allies too, TBH, thanks to that jump. Big Ben's not really catching up. These guys, we got to get more influence before we can start that. So I'd like to push. Yeah, let's push you down this way, and let's push you down this way too. With not having hostile camps, we should be okay. This one's still hostile with us for now. What do we have? Good food production and happiness and a resource. And extends my borders to limit him. And hard to pass up. Let's take that. Boom. Border locked. Boom. Alright, what do we have? We're going to put you on alert mode. Get a choice. We get. Let's take that happiness towards our next celebration. What turn are you on?
38.
How far through the antiquity era are you?
19%.
That's interesting. So I'm at 22% and I'm on turn 39. I'm really trying to pace out how the pacing works. Ooh, this is a tough choice. I can take the Codex, which gives me science, or I can take influence. Influence is important for me right now because I'm trying to befriend everybody. So let's do the influence. Let's start our befriendment over here. I'm going to grow a city. We're growing our capital. Growing our capital. Let's take the marble. I think we're probably going to get started with wonder production soon-ish. Let's turn that into a quarter. Let's continue exploring down here next to our new friends that don't hate us. It's important. Probably took you the wrong way. That's fine. Doesn't really matter. We're gonna use you to come out this way and do some fog busting, because I feel pretty safe up here in my capital. And I want to get a second settler going. These sheep are a priority for me. Production and happiness is important. Let's take a look at our... I'm going to put the happiness over here in our city, as well as that all-important production. Our scout... Where are you? Can't really do much down there, huh? Okay. You actually need to go this way. I'll try to speed that up just a little bit. How are you doing? We're still kicking Big Ben's ass. How are you doing? Doing well. You're going to announce me as your favorite person ever soon. You are almost subjugated. We like that. We like that a lot. Army commander is going to go in rest mode, alert mode. We mastered writing, so we should have our great work that we can display. It automatically went to our palace, +2 science production. We like that about that. We're getting gold, because this guy doesn't hate us. Let's start working on currency. We're going to start really bringing in resources now. We've got our merchants coming in on 7 turns. We're up to multiple cities that are creating a lot of resources. Not cities. We're on multiple settlements, all with multiple resources. Where the fuck did this guy come from? You're from the Painted Rock Village. First off, that name sounds dumb. Second, where the fuck is Painted Rock? We're growing, we like growing. We already have that in our borders. We need to get that in our borders. We're not really in competition for it. This is our town, 1, 2, 3. Can't reach that gypsum. We do want this iron and wine. We can grab both of them by picking up this crappy food tile. We can grab this tile and then put our next person there and there. Let's do that. That's fine. Oh, there's a cultural city up here. Okay. Alright, what can you do? Let's talk about this. We can build a unique building that gives +2 gold and +2 gold in cities if they have at least 1 resource assigned to them. My cities will have resources assigned to them, so that pretty much reads +4 gold. Okay. Gold buildings receive 1 gold for every city-state you're a Zwerian of, which we're going to be a couple of them, so that's pretty good. Gemstones receive lapis lazuli, resource in capitals. It provides +4 production and 5% gold. Ooh, that seems good. 5% gold for every city-state that I'm a variant of, which again will be a couple. Or Tempos, +5 trade route range for every city-state here. I could trade with everybody if I took that. But the lapis is so good. +4 production is massive. Right? Like, I'm probably currently making like no production right now. Oh, so good, right? Like, we went up to 18. That means we were at 12. That means we got a third extra. We just did a 33% increase. Just congratulations. We don't suck anymore. All right, narrative choice. What do we get? A diplomatic attribute point. Heck yeah. What does that give us? +1 happiness per age on the palace or city halls, or +1 influence per age. Well, we're probably going the influence route. That's what we just picked up from the Greeks. So being able to do that would be massive. Social policy slot also feels pretty good, though. Either way, we're definitely taking that right now. Bringing us up to, well, it should be 14 in a minute anyway. We are finally out of resource slots, which is good that we're researching currency so we can get the bank going so that we can get additional research or additional resource slots. Everything's coming together. There is an order to all of this madness, as seen. These guys we're currently working on befriending. These guys we're currently working on befriending and we're beating Big Ben. These guys currently working on befriending. These guys we have befriended fully. This one, I don't know if we're going to be able to race him. We're going to try our best, but it's going to be tight. Get a narrative choice. Ooh, they're giving us a military unit. We like military units, kind of. Happiness. We don't want to take your happiness because we want to take your friendly person in the upper corner, and we need our influence to do that. So, bump off, kid. We move here, and we're going to build a large chunk of... Oh my gosh, there's another friendly unit down here. Another trade guy. There are so many friendly people on this map. So many... Oh my gosh. We need more influence. No, Lafayette. Go away. Stop trying to make me use my influence. We have so much happiness coming in this city. We're generating 36 happiness a turn in our capital. Holy guacamole. All right, we need We need hanging gardens would be pretty good. We can grow pretty quickly. It takes us 15 turns. But before we get that out, a settler might be good. Can we buy a settler? We can just buy a settler. Holy crap.
I wish I could just buy a settler.
Huh? What?
And I wish I could just buy a settler.
Well, maybe you should have friendly people that give you gold, so you can just buy settlers.
Oh, I can buy a settler.
See?
Let's go.
Let's go ahead over here. Purchase by settler. Ka-chow. Lightning. You guys like cars? I like the movie Cars. Alright, we want to put the city over here. I could put it right there. 1, 2, 3. I don't get those dates if I put it there. I think I get them if I put it there. 1, 2, 3. I'll put the city there. I can get the camels, I can get the dates. One, two, I can get the horses. The gold. That seems like the play. Nothing down here that I really care about. I mean, I care about it, but not enough to put a whole city there. Settler man, come down here. A couple of turns for you to get there, but that'll be alright. Scout, keep exploring. I don't love that we have hostile people down here, but I can't really do anything about it. Build another massive chunk of the map. What do we have up here? I'm not really sure where you came from. We just have one of you guys. I guess that was the event where they gave me a unit. Yeah, that's fine. Come stand over here and look menacing. Cause this guy gonna get mad soon. Especially if we can jack this city. Let's try it. Oh, it worked. We did it. We're beating them on the befriend. Whew. Massive. Let's get the science going. We gotta get those markets online. So scout guy can come over here and come over here. You're gonna just kind of chill. How are you looking? Still beat Lafayette. We're gonna need to check that like pretty much every turn. You're about to make Big Ben mad at me. Nobody is contesting. I've encountered another Civ. Jose! What time do we need to go get stuff to do lunch?
Oh. Question.
What time do we need to take a break? I guess the question's one and the same, but asked a different way.
Yeah, sounds like the same question. I'm taking a break.
Should we go ahead and run to the store now? All right. I'll be down in just a second then. That way you can get your fresh air and then we can go. We're going to take building up here. We're going to take food for 10 turns. And I'm not really using my scouts. I'm using my scouts currently, but I'm not really needing my scouts. I have a lot of scout bonuses, so we're going to take the gold. We got a narrative choice, culture, or lump sum gold. That's a good chunk of gold, but the culture is nice and should allow us to get, our code of laws unlocked, which means we can start building our merchants, getting those trade routes up and running. Potentially could be important. All right, so from here we could go tactics into organized military for +1 settlement, but there's not really a lot of stuff that I'm going to build along the way. Or I could go public life. Oracle I may build. Entertainment also gives me a settlement limit. And I can get rites and rituals and the Colosseum, which give me happiness. So I'm going to shoot towards entertainment. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go this way. I need to get this. +2 culture for every city-state I oversee, and I oversee a lot of them. That's going to be massive for me. All right. I want to go ahead and save here. Well, actually, I want to finish this turn. I'll save again at the end of the turn. That's pretty well walled off. We're not going much that direction, but we can go this direction. This is the end of the turn. Let's save. We'll overwrite that save. All right. And this is where we'll leave it for now. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully I answered some good questions. I know we spent a lot of time at the start talking about the civ choices, the leader choices, Momentos, how it all fits together. And all of this playthrough is based around me leveling up Ashoka so that I can get some Momentos from him that I want to use on other leaders. So kind of a circular little playthrough. Hopefully lots of knowledge as we're exploring the game and learning it together. I'm going to go pick up stuff to make lunch. Going to make lunch and then come back and play some more. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back later. Bye.